All right, we're live. Shalom, Israel. Welcome back. We had a beautiful Passover celebration in Norfolk, Virginia. What a wonderful time that we had with all the brothers and from Houston, Virginia, New York, San Antonio came up. A lot of brothers from other places. I mean, it was a wonderful time. I mean, we're not posting a lot of pictures, but I mean, the pictures, speaks 1,000 words. And we've seen a lot of pictures, and it showed a lot of brotherhood and a lot of joy and a lot of camaraderie from brothers and sisters that actually got a chance to go out there. So hopefully, if the Most High allows another Passover, that if you didn't make it this year, if the Most High allows another one, please, by all means, don't miss another one. It was a great opportunity to fellowship with brothers. Great to see the kids. I mean, it was awesome from the situation, the establishment, the building itself, the layout, the design, the work that the sisters did on the garments, both from every city, every camp. The food that brothers put heavy amounts of work, hours upon hours, on cooking the lamb, roasting the lamb.
And it was quality.
The lamb was excellent, well cooked, thorough. The kids were full of joy.
Yeah.
I learned how to play cheese tag for the kid. I don't know what the hell cheese tag was, but it basically is like you're it. You know what I'm saying? You cheese tag. They hit you with cheese tag, you it. So I mean, I learned something from the kids. Kids was engaging. It was like a big old family reunion, and that's what it is. And it was a family reunion of believers, more importantly, because you know how you got your own family reunion, but everybody ain't on the same page, even though they may be the same blood. You know what I'm saying? Borrowing money from you at the family reunion.
I'll get you next one.
Ken folk, let me get some money from you. No, it wasn't like that at the Passover. It was a beautiful opportunity. It's like a big old family reunion of believers. It was excellent. So I got to first and foremost give acknowledgement to that, to what the Most High provided us to enjoy and go out and a chance to benefit and see for ourselves the growth, the maturity of the brothers. The brothers' house prior to the Passover night was excellent. A lot of good exchanges and dialogue and experiences and testimonies. It was wonderful. So we want to thank the Most High for giving us that opportunity. And for those that didn't make it here in San Antonio, we do have another Passover coming in May, and that will give the other ones that didn't get a chance to get up there and celebrate in Norfolk, Virginia, an opportunity to do it here in San Antonio. So we're going to throw down on some lamb again. We're going to get back in some garments and get back fellowshipping again. All right? So we want to most definitely thank everybody for participating in that. Even if they weren't present, I know they were present in spirit because their work and their dedication was there. Both in garments and in travel and just everybody was, for sisters that, stayed up all night braiding hair, getting brothers right. It was a lot of sacrifices all the way around.
And the spirit was phenomenal despite the weather also.
Okay.
The weather wasn't like no sunshine. It was kind of like rainy,
gloomy,
misty.
Yeah.
But you couldn't even feel it.
Yeah. The weather was it was cold, wet, and rainy, but it was a non-factor because where the weather was gloomy, the spirits of the people weren't, and that was phenomenal. So great to see brothers out there spending time together. From the brothers' house before and after the Passover, just the dialogue and exchange, the joy that came from it. Some brothers stayed up all night, entertaining guests, not getting any sleep. I heard some brothers stayed up, 3 days straight with only about 7 hours of sleep. So shout out to those brothers that made those sacrifices to make the Passover what it was. Because it's about our coming together as a nation of people. Somebody get that real quick, Zephaniah 2:1.
That's good to get back to the routine too. Get back to the rhythm of class structure.
No, that's good. I know it. I know we're kind of getting back into it. I know we had a theme going for a while in the classroom, so we just got to kind of go back into it. And if anybody have any questions, feel free to ask any questions. But we do have a topic today. Let's go ahead and read that real quick.
Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
And that's what the Most High's pleasure is. That's a commandment. That's an order. Read on.
Yea, together. O nation, not desire.
Yeah, because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're the ones that have been ridiculed, made the offscoring of society, the outcast of society, the so-called bottom of the barrel,
Tortured.
Plagued with all types of ills. Read on.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth.
But before the Most High decides to wipe this place clean and purge this place like he did during the time of Noah, which we know in Luke 17, the Most High said in the last days, it shall be as the days of Noah. Go ahead.
Before the day pass as the chaff.
Go ahead.
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Read on.
Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord.
So the Most High said, listen, before the Most High rings the bell, sounds the final trumpet, the Most High says, come together and do what?
Seek ye the Lord.
Come together and seek ye the Lord. That's what we're doing. And that's what we did at the Passover. That's what we're going to do again. This next Passover, we're going to continue doing that until Christ comes back. All right? So with that, just go ahead and drop that. Now the topic of the class is called Someone Stole My Blessing. All right? That's the topic of the class. Someone stole my blessing. Now, we titled it that because I think that some of us may feel like that's possible. That somebody can take what's meant for you, and somebody can steal an opportunity or steal an advantage that you were supposed to gain or you were supposed to get. So we kind of got to explore this idea because this is something that's big with men. I've been hearing this from men forever, man. You know what I'm saying? This person stole they stole my rank. I was supposed to be in that rank. I was supposed to have that title. I was supposed to be the officer of 100. I was supposed to be the officer of 50. I was supposed to be the soldier. I was supposed to be the head of the brother's house. I was supposed to be making a cooking list. I was supposed to be making a food list. I was supposed to be, I've even heard brothers say, you stole my name.
Yeah.
My name was supposed to be Kazak before you got Kazak.
Yeah. Well, what is this?
Yeah, like we've seen this in camp environments where people pick and choose what they decide to say somebody took from me. And we're going to find out through the scriptures today, first of all, is that even possible? Or is that a worry, or should that be a worry that somebody, or is it even plausible that anybody can steal anything from you that the Most High has in store for your advantage? All right. So first and foremost, let's go to Romans chapter 8, verse 28. That's what we're going to start with. Because we've heard this concept, we've heard this idea for a long time, especially because we know that the scriptures say that the spirit lusted to what?
Page 544.
And that's in James, I believe, right? Get that scripture right there. The spirit lusted to envy. Somebody find that while we read this Romans chapter 8, verse 28.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 28.
The first scripture you pulled. James.
I believe it's James. The spirit lusted to envy.
James 1:1?
No, it's not 1:1.
Okay.
4 and 5. James 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
All right, so hold 4 and 5. Hold James. Read this real quick.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together.
Hold on. It says that we know what? And we know, which means, what does it mean to know something?
Yeah, knowledge of it.
You got knowledge of it. That means you have knowledge of it and you're sure about it. So he says, and we know that what?
We know all things work together for good to them that love the Most High.
So is there anything bad that can happen to those that love the Most High? No. Now, if there's a measure of affliction, that measure of affliction has been measured out because you're a believer in Christ. And we know also the scripture says that in 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 12, somebody get that real quick. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 12, hold Romans.
And James is page 585 in the blue book. Page 585 in the blue book.
Con, you ready?
Con.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 12 reads, Yea, and all that will live godly
It says the Bible says all that will live godly, go ahead,
in Yahushua
in Christ, Yahushua, go ahead,
shall suffer persecution.
shall suffer what?
Persecution.
So yes, if you live a godly lifestyle, that's not guaranteed that you won't suffer. It's not saying that you won't suffer. That's actually part of being a believer, is that you will suffer. That's a normal thing. You're going to suffer some type of persecution because of what you believe in, because who you believe in. All right? So that doesn't say that in Romans, because you're a believer, nothing bad is going to happen. But let's get some understanding on that. Let's let that go. Let's go back to Romans chapter 8, verse 28.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 28 from the top. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High.
So even if a situation is bad, even if you are suffering persecution, even if you're catching hell or affliction, in the end of it, it's still going to work out in whose favor? It's still going to work out in your favor because you're a believer. Even if you do suffer, even if you do catch some grief or some circumstances that are unfavorable to you, that doesn't mean that the Most High hates you. That doesn't mean the Most High doesn't love you. That just means that comes with the territory. But in the end, the Most High has good set up for you, even if you're currently in a situation that's uncomfortable. Read on.
To them who are called according to his purpose.
Go ahead.
For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate.
Because the Most High has good set up in store for you from the very beginning. Jump down to verse 31.
Verse 31. What shall we say then? Say these things. If the Most High be for us, who can be against us?
It says, what shall we say then of these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be what?
Who can be against us?
What does that mean?
Anybody.
Yeah.
So what that means is if I'm doing right by the Most High, and the Most High is on my side, then there's nothing, or there's no obstacle or situation that I'm going to be unfavorable if I'm right. If I'm doing right by the Father.
I'm not. You gotta speak up. I know that you gotta speak to the camera, but honestly, that plane still got my ears closed. So if you can speak up, because I still can't hear all the way, but I'm like a 50% rate right now. So if you can speak up just a little bit, my hearing is still closed down from the airplane, from the aircraft, at elevation.
Yes, sir. So if I'm doing right by the Most High, and I'm in the right with Him, I'm not doing negative. I'm living a righteous lifestyle. The Most High will back me in whatever it is that I'm doing, as long as I'm living right by Him. And I'm not doing or touching or entertaining any negative. If I do the things that please the Father, He will back my causes. He'll guide my steps. He'll be for me. That's what it means. If the Most High is with you, who can be against you? Nothing that I touch, nothing that I put my hand to, is not going to flourish. If I, make it simple. I'm not trying to elaborate too much here. So.
All right. Okay. So read that one more time. That's a great elaboration. Anybody else?
Due to our dedication and the Most High's love, there's nothing that we can't overcome.
Right. When the Most High has good set up for you,
Nothing can stop it.
nobody can pluck you out of the Most High's hand, and nobody can take a blessing from you that the Most High has in store from you. Yes, sir.
You make your enemies be at peace with you.
He said, if a man's ways please the Most High, He maketh even his enemies be at peace with him. So we understand that the Most High has the opportunity to turn a negative situation into your favor, if you're confident and you know that the Most High is with you. But you got to know that the Most High is with you. All right. Now the scripture we pulled in James was what?
James 4 and 5.
You doing that right now?
Yeah, you got it.
James chapter 4, verse 5. It says, sloppy right here. Gotcha. James chapter 4, verse 5. Do you think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
Now the Most High said, well, the scripture said that if the Most High be for us, who could be against us? Well, who's against us?
Envy.
Envy is who?
Principality.
Envy is brothers and sisters. Envy is people. It's natural that the people that you're going to be around are going to envy your advantage. They're going to envy your freedoms. They're going to envy your liberty. They're going to envy your position. They're going to envy your rank. They're going to envy your choices. They're going to envy your whatever advantage you have, whatever good that you possess. It's normal for somebody to envy that. That's where the envy comes. That's where the idea that somebody's out to get me or individuals despise me. That's the difficulty. It's not, nobody can really take something from you that the Most High has in store, but envious individuals are the ones who initially cause you the most grief. Whether it be at the workplace, look at that so-and-so. Look at that broad, that chick. Who she thinks she is. Because she got that new position. Now she's smelling herself. Now she walking around the office like she the hot stuff. She was just the damn clerk 2 weeks ago. Don't get an accolade. Don't get a promotion. Don't get a blessing around individuals that have the wrong perspective, because they're gonna discredit and defame whatever advantage you possess, because that's normal. That's to be expected. Because what we do is we start to fight and have contention because of somebody else's advantage, and that's just a normal lust that is ingrained in all of us. Whether you at the mall, how many times have you been at the mall and a brother say you stole my cell?
Oh yeah.
Now we have had businesses for years. We have our own businesses, for those that don't know. And when you're working side by side by a brother, and a brother is producing, a brother may be quick to say, what? Man, I had that customer.
I call that person.
I called that person first.
It starts with the I call this person first bit. That was my refill.
That was my refill.
That was my refill.
That was my sale.
That was my customer.
You stole my sale. You wrote your name down, and you took credit for a customer that I was supposed to have. That customer was for me. Can anybody really steal what the Most High has in store for you? Can somebody really steal a blessing from you? No.
That would make them just as powerful, if not more powerful than the Most High, and that don't make no sense.
Right, but that's what we say. We give a person that amount of credit, but we say, well, they stole that from me. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be mine. Or, I'm saying, that was my customer. That was my sale. So now I'm at the mall with a brother, and I can't get along with a brother because I feel like he took something from me.
So the envy, and then you have Sergeant Jar getting these comments about strife.
This is the beginning of it.
What is the problem here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This person stole something that belonged to me.
Can they really though? Can they really steal something that belongs to you?
Wow.
So what we looking at is, you don't have to move.
Oh, send me a text.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Unless you want to move it.
Just this way. Yeah.
This way, yeah. Towards the yes, sir.
How's that right there?
Yeah, the water. I see what he's saying now. So I thought somebody kicked it or something. I didn't notice that. So if I'm at the job arguing with somebody because I feel like they took a blessing from me, all it does is create contention and confusion. Yeah. All it creates is animosity and jealousy, and it creates strife
and grudges.
And grudges, bro. Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, you know what? That was my sale. You took the credit that I was supposed to get. But we forget that the Most High said, if the Most High be for you, who could be what?
Against you.
Who could be against you? Nobody could be against you. If a brother takes something and he say, you know what? I dealt with that customer. I didn't know that was yours. Me and the customer started talking. I ended up making a sale.
Next customer.
Next person.
Next customer, bro.
Because this is why we got to dive into this topic. This is what we're going to get into today. But these type of things start small and they grow. And then they continue to grow and they feed a negative outlook to one another if you're not careful.
Turns into leaven.
Yep. And it's funny how we just came off the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and that leaven is malice, ill will. But where does it start? It starts from me thinking something negative about you. But that's the spirit that's in us. It lusted to envy. All right? Go back to Romans chapter 8. Jump down to verse 35.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?
Okay, so now if you know you love the Most High in Christ, and the Most High loves you also, so who can actually separate you from the love of Christ? Who can hinder your relationship with the Most High in Christ?
Only you.
Who can stop your blessing?
You. Only you.
Only you. Nobody stop your blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can stop. I stand in the gap between you and the Father. I'm the one that determines the fact that you will never get blessed again in your life.
That's a mighty being right there.
Yeah.
We'll tumble.
No, no, no.
In my
No, no, no. You don't get blessed no more. You know, is that possible, man?
Not with the Most High.
Not with the nobody can stand in between you and the Father's relationship. But you got a lust that's grown inside of men that feels like that's possible. It's not possible. That's why Paul said what? Verse 35?
Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress,
Go ahead.
or persecution,
Go ahead.
or famine,
Go ahead.
or nakedness,
Well, go ahead.
or peril, or sword?
Go ahead.
As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long.
But does that mean I'm supposed to stop believing?
Nuh-uh.
Does that mean I'm supposed to stop trusting the Most High?
Nuh-uh.
So, let that go, and let's go to Romans chapter 14, verse 4. Now we say, hold on, finish that verse. I want you to finish that verse in Romans. I want you to finish that one in Romans chapter 8.
36.
Yeah, I want you to go down to 39 real quick before we move on. One more
That's
time.
page 547 in the blue book. Page 547 in the blue book.
Romans 8 and 36. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long.
It says, for thy sake we are what?
We are killed all the day long.
Read
all
on.
the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
That means we're going to be taken advantage of. That means we're going to get abused. That means people will take credit that maybe should have gone to you. That means that somebody might steal your glory. Somebody might try to defame you. Read on.
Verse 37. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors.
But the scriptures say, nay, in all these things we're what?
We are more than conquerors.
You can overcome it. Read on.
Through him that loved us.
Go ahead.
For I am persuaded.
Paul said, I am what?
Persuaded.
Paul said, I am persuaded. Means I'm convinced that what?
That neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High.
But you know what does? When another brother has an advantage that I feel like was mine. When another brother receives an achievement that I didn't possess.
Or benefits.
Or benefits, he received a benefit that I think belonged to me. Or when some light was shined on another man and it didn't shine on me, that idea separates me from the Most High. Or that brother gets ranked up and he gets another position that I feel like I should have had. Or another sister get another position that I feel like I should have had, then that begins the separation. We may say this, but until somebody else that is close to us, we feel like robbed me of an opportunity. They robbed me. They stole they stole my blessing. They stole my shine. They stole my opportunity. They stole my rank. I was pushing for that position. But if it wasn't for this person, I'd have that position. If it wasn't for them, I would have that rank. If it wasn't for them, I'd have that authority. But they stole it from me. Is that even possible? And that's what we're going to dive into. But this is a real thing. This is a very real thing. That envy it contaminates any and every situation. Households, jobs, schools, camps. That envy is everywhere.
This is why, historically, we can't keep nothing going as a nation.
Yep.
We
They call it crabs in a barrel mentality, or crabs in a bucket mentality. The minute I see you coming up, then what?
I'm gonna pull you down.
I'm gonna pull you down, because I can't let you get higher than me, because I'm supposed to be there. This is the general consensus of the thought process of envious individuals or unlearned individuals. They look at everything as a challenge, competition, You took that was mine. But what we're going to see is, where does it come from? That's what we're going to dive into today. That's what the topic's really going to get into. All right? Finish that?
God. Verse 30, Romans 8 and 39. Nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Christ Yahushua.
Right. So nothing's supposed to be able to separate you from your connection with the Most High Christ. So what if somebody gets an advantage over you? Does that supposed to change your perspective? But it does. But Romans chapter 4 and 14. Next brother.
14 and 4?
14 and 4. 14 and 4. I'm sorry. 14 and 4. Let me put this on the screen. Read that.
Come. Romans 14 and verse 4. Who art thou that judgeth another man's servant?
But you know what we do? We're analytical, and we're quick to tell somebody who doesn't deserve what. You may have been put over me. How many times have you seen that or heard that you got put over me, but I don't agree?
It's a million times. Countless.
I mean,
Nobody agrees.
nobody agrees. I don't agree. I don't agree with the fact that you're now over me. I don't agree with the fact that you got placed in this position that I feel like I deserved and I should have been in. How many times have we seen that? A lot. You took something from me that belonged to me. How many times have we seen it? But you know what? This is why Paul is making it very clear. Read this one more time.
Come. Romans 14 and verse 4. Who art thou that judgeth another man's servant?
So, every man is a servant to who?
Father.
To the Most High. So, who am I to judge that man who is a servant to the Most High? Who am I to judge that man to say what he deserves or doesn't deserve? Who am I to say this man shouldn't be in a position of authority, but I do? Who am I to do that? Read on.
To his own master he standeth or falleth.
It says, to his own master he standeth or falleth.
So
What
that has nothing to do with my opinion then.
Exactly.
My opinion would be irrelevant.
Exactly.
Because the man or the person or the issue or the situation or the sister, everybody is judged by their own master. Any other opinion really is pointless.
And that's what you're going to find out, is that a lot of times the idea about what a person deserves only comes from my opinion. It's my judgment. My judgment is my opinion. This is what I classify. This is how I look at people based upon their value and what should their value be, whether it's over me or not over me, or whether they deserve the spotlight or don't deserve the spotlight. It's all coming from where? It's coming from my opinion. It's coming from my thought process. But that's none of my business, because that's the Most High's business. If the Most High gave a person an advantage over me, that's the Most High's doing. That's not my doing. That's the Most High. Read that one more time. I'd rather let the scripture say what it is. Read that one more time.
From the top, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Romans 14 and verse 4. Who art thou that judgeth another man's servant?
Go ahead.
To his own master.
To his own master what?
He standeth or falleth.
It says to his own master, this person is standing in a position of authority, or it's to the Most High. It's to the Most High that the Most High is bringing this man down, reducing him in authority. That's the Most High's doing. It's not my doing. The advantages that another man possesses, I may be envious of it all day long, but that man's advantage has nothing to do with me. But it has everything to do with my opinion, though. It has everything to do with my envy, my jealousy, my irrational thought process.
Has everything to do with it.
Has everything to do with it. But to the Most High, the Most High thought it'd be fit to give that man that advantage, or that obligation, or that opportunity, or that chance, or that freedom, or that liberty. Just to prove it a little bit more, let's go to Numbers chapter 12, start at verse 1.
Numbers?
Numbers chapter 12, start at verse 1.
Page 77 in the blue book. 77 in the blue book.
Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses.
Hold on, it says what?
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses.
Now who is Miriam and Aaron to Moses.
Sisters.
Their elder brothers and sisters. So they got a problem with Moses, their little brother, for what? Read on.
Because of the Ethiopian woman he had married.
Because Moses decided the little brother got a what?
Ethiopian
So
woman.
When got a nation. They got a Goyim. They got a heathen.
Gentile wife.
They got a Gentile.
Uh,
But you know what? Let's find out if the Most High was okay with the perspective and the opinion of Aaron and Miriam. Let's find out. Read on.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
It said, for he married a what?
Ethiopian woman.
They had a problem with that. I don't like the fact that you married this Ethiopian woman. So I'm going to go ahead and speak my mind.
I got something to say about
I
it.
got something to say. The South got something to say. So I got something to say because you chose a woman that was of another nation, even though the Most High chose you to be a spokesperson and a leader and a savior of the children of Israel out of Egypt. But I'm going to still say something. Read on.
Verse 2. And they said, had the Lord indeed only spoke by Moses?
Now, what does that sound like?
Jealousy.
Wow.
Is there
What is
anyone else I can
Envy,
follow?
jealousy.
Yeah, what does that sound like? Who asked that kind of question?
Someone who's jealous and envious.
Somebody who's what?
Someone who's jealous and envious.
Somebody who's jealous and envious. That's the source of that question. Read that part again.
It says, and they said, had the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses?
What are they saying by saying this?
That's crazy.
And the Most High only came to Moses.
I don't want to follow.
Yeah, that's what they said, but what is their intention behind? What is the meaning behind those words?
I can do it.
It's I don't agree with Moses being the authority. I don't like him getting this blessing. And two, they want that. They want the Most High to speak through them. They're like, hey, the Most High to speak through me as well. It's those two things.
Okay.
They don't believe that that the Most High was speaking through Moses.
Okay.
Are you special or something? Oh, my bad.
Special. Okay. What are you gonna say?
Yeah. We can do just as good a job as you do. And who put you in this position? Because I have just as much right to this position as you do.
Yeah. That's one. But where did it come from?
What spirit was it in?
Yep. Okay. Let me reword it. Okay. Go ahead.
They're also saying, what about me? That's what they're saying.
Yeah. What about me? But you know what made them say, as the Most High spoke only by you? Because we see your flaws.
Okay.
We see your mistakes. Because I can see your mistakes. I can see your flaws. Then the Most High must have made a mistake by putting you over me.
right.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say they're coming from the perspective of I don't think, in my opinion, because that's all we are is opinionated according in contrast to the Most High, right? In my opinion, I don't think you deserve that. I don't know why he gave that to you, but in my opinion, I don't think you deserve that. That's just my opinion.
You know what? Wives do it to husbands. Because I can see your dirt.
Okay.
And I can see your flaws. And I can see your mistakes. I don't think that the Most High was right by making you the head over me. So I got to challenge your authority.
Go.
I got to challenge your decisions. Yes, sir.
I put in work too.
All right. I'm just equally as a hard worker as you
I'm just as
do.
qualified as you, but I didn't marry another nation. So
Right.
I'm qualified as well. Why are you over me?
Right. And this comes from a disagreement because it's sparked by the idea that I see something wrong with you. Because I can see something wrong with you, then it feeds the notion, it feeds the idea that you're undeserving of that position to be my leader or to have authority over me because I can see your dirt. It feeds that idea.
Yeah.
Read it again.
God, it says, and they said, had the Lord indeed spoke only by Moses?
Go ahead.
Is this the carpenter's son?
Yeah.
The same thing.
Same thing. Can't be the carpenter's son.
That's the carpenter's son. It's not the
We know your brothers. We know your sisters. We know who you are. You can't be the Christ. Read.
Hath he not spoken also by us?
So have the Most High not put His Spirit
wow,
in us?
That's a strong statement right there.
Man. And you know what? If the Most High didn't come to Moses first, there would be no Miriam and Aaron.
That's crazy, bro.
They got it. They got in position
real quick.
because of Moses.
They forgot real quick.
Yeah.
They forgot real quick.
But you know, this is an opinion that's talking right here. This is an opinion based upon perspective and based upon outlook. The Most High can't have this person. The Most High cannot have this person over me. That is unfair.
They were slaves longer.
Yeah, they just kept. It was in Egypt, bro. If it wasn't for your brother that the Most High chose while he was herding sheep on a mountaintop, and the Most High caused him to look at it, stare at a burning bush, you wouldn't even be in a position to be an accessory or a peer to Moses, to be one of his peers in that regard. But that's opinion coming in. That's perspective coming in. That's pride coming in.
Motivated by
envy. Read on.
And the Most High heard it. Verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
And the Most High spake suddenly unto Moses, and said unto Aaron, Slightly. And the Most High spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, Come out three unto the tabernacle of the congregation.
He said, I want all three of y'all to come out on the tabernacle of the congregation. Y'all come outside.
And they three came out.
Go ahead.
And the Most High came down in the pillar of the cloud.
Go ahead.
And stood at the door of the tabernacle.
Go ahead.
And called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words.
He said, listen to this. Read on.
If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
He said, my servant Moses is not your regular average prophet. He said, he's telling Miriam and Aaron that my relationship with Moses is on a different level. That's not for your opinion. That's not for you to judge. My relationship with Moses.
Not your place.
That's not your place. Even though he's your little brother, I'm working with him on a different capacity than I'm working with y'all on, or than I'm working with any other prophet. Read on.
Come, verse 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
He said, I talk to him mouth to mouth, not in a vision. He doesn't have to go to sleep for me to talk to Moses. I talk to Moses while he's awake. Moses doesn't have to be in a trance to have me give him instruction. He don't have to be in a trance, unconscious state or a dream-like state.
It has to be some exotic story and some magic, miracle vision for you to get a conversation with the Father.
No, it's not like Moses like, oh man, y'all gonna trip out on what I just heard. What the Most High just told me last night. Man, y'all ain't gonna believe it. Man, they don't gotta be asleep for that. The Most High is dealing with Moses face to face. So it already he's showing that the relationship is on a different caliber. Read on.
Come. Even apparently, and not in dark speeches.
He says, even apparently, it's clear. I don't speak to Moses in parables. I don't speak to Moses in riddles, in secrets. I make my message very clear to Moses. Read on.
And the similitude of the Most High shall be he behold.
Go ahead. And I'll let Moses see my silhouette, which no man sees. Read on.
Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
The Most High is telling Miriam and Aaron, if you understood my relationship with this man that you're judging, with this man that you got a problem with through envy, because you really want his position, because you really want his freedom, because you really want his liberty, because you really want the ability to make decisions that I'm giving him the ability to make.
Or his advantage.
Or his advantage. Because you're really speaking out of envy. If you really understood how I deal with Moses, maybe you'll watch your mouth. Maybe you'll bite your tongue. And maybe you'll hold your opinion to yourself. Read on.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against him, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous.
With the cloud that the Most High rode in and came down on, her skin color went right along with it. So when that cloud departed, her melanin departed. And she became what?
Leprous.
The Most High made her a white woman.
Yeah, that's real.
Stripped her.
That's real.
He hit her with the watch your mouth. That's what that leprosy is. That leprosy is watch your mouth.
It was instant.
Yeah, instant, bro. So, you know what? Why does the Most High have to do that? Because, well, read on.
White as snow.
Go ahead.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas.
Oh my God, alas.
It had to be bad.
Please.
It had to be bad.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad, man. You know Michael Jackson had to wear the glove, man.
Yeah. He knew it was
Hide
bad.
that leprosy, man. You know, it's a shame because you're talking too much. You speaking against the Most High's decisions of how He deals with His prophets, His servants. That's not for you to judge what advantage another person has. That's not your position. That's not your call. You don't know where the Most High's relationship is with that individual or those individuals that you have a problem against. Read on.
My Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us.
That leprosy is a what?
Sin.
Sin.
But the leprosy is a sin. But where did the sin come from?
Opinion. And the opinion was based on envy. Read on.
Wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead.
Now we know that one dead is talking about who? Esau. Don't let her be as like Esau, as one dead. Read on.
Of whom the flesh hath consumed.
Because when it says of one dead, whom the flesh, talking about Esau, when he came out, he was red all over like a hairy garment. His pigment, his blood was showing forth through his skin because he had no pigmentation. He had no color. So it looked like he was half dead. Like when somebody's half dead, they turn pale. To turn pale means, the word pale means to turn white. Somebody look like they're dying, they turning white, they turn pale. It's not a good thing. It's not a blessing. Read on.
When he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Read on.
And Moses cried unto the Most High, saying, Heal her now, O power, I beseech thee. Verse 14. And the Most High said unto Moses, If her father had but the spirit in her face.
Nope.
Spit in her face.
The Most High said, listen.
Read it again, bro. You
read that part again.
Verse 14. And the Most High said unto Moses, And if her father had but spit in her face.
Now, this is the equivalence of how the Most High looked at that opinion that they had upon Moses. He said, okay, then I'll equivalate her talking against Moses, my servant, as if her father spit in her face. I'll compare that to the same level of disgrace.
Wow.
That's how I view it. It's equally as disgraceful of having her father spit in her face. So the judgment is going to be the same. So what's the judgment? Read on.
Should she not be ashamed 7 days?
So if her father spit in her face, then she should be ashamed for how long?
7 days.
So that's how I look at her opening her mouth. That's a spit in the face. You with your opinion is a spit in the face. So you got the same amount of time that it takes to heal from a spit in the face. That shame got to be on you for 7 days. Because that's how the Most High look at it. That's a spit in the face. When you talk against people that the Most High put over you, whose face are you spitting in?
The Most High.
The Most High.
You spitting in the Most High's face. Because who put that person in that position?
The Most High.
The Most High did. So the judgment should be equivalent. That's what happens when I got an opinion towards those that the Most High put over me. Or those that I feel like is taking some from me, or they didn't deserve that position. Because that was supposed to be mine. I was supposed to have that liberty and that freedom. I don't see, with all your mistakes, how the Most High put you over me. I don't see that. I don't agree with it. Read on.
Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days.
So put her out the camp. If you want to heal Moses, then kick her out the camp as if she got spit in the face by her father. Let her sit outside for about 7 days. Don't let her in.
Out of the camp, whatever's out there is out there.
You know, the leopards are outside the camp. The ones that are full of leprosy. And also, you're without the protection of the camp. You got wild beasts outside the camp. You got animals outside the camp. You're not protected. Because you know what? That's a shame to be to be ostracized outside of your nation is a shame, man. To be without the protection of your nation, to be vulnerable, that's a shame.
That's why the Most High always in the scripture says, this person shall be cut off from their people.
Yep.
That's a shame.
That's a shame. So because she had an opinion, so let that be equivalent to the same judgment of her getting spit in the face. Read on.
And after that, let her be received in again.
Go ahead.
And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again.
It said, and the people journeyed not until when?
Miriam was brought in again.
That means the whole camp had to sit still until Miriam got her skin color back.
You hold up.
We got to sit in this wilderness extra time. We can't move forward as a nation of people because you have an opinion.
Wow. That's a real thing, bro.
The monkey stopped the show.
Yeah.
Because you got an opinion. Because you have something to say. Because now the forward progress has to be stalled out. And the movement of the body has to be regressed. Because you want to open your mouth. That happens in the households.
Yeah.
That happens in camps. That happens in businesses.
Yeah.
That happens in brothers' houses. That happens as roommates. That happens in every arena where you got people that speak against those that the Most High have a relationship with, but you don't see fit how they should have the advantage over you.
That's a real thing, bro. And this is really a plague. That's why we got to give the plague of leprosy. This is a plague to a business. This is a plague to a body. It's a plague to a church. It's a plague to a household.
It is. Very much so.
That spirit's viral. When a person starts interjecting their opinion, there's always somebody who wants to share something. Spirits jump like frogs, right?
Especially if they see you make a mistake.
Come.
That's when they feel free to and emboldened to go ahead and express themselves because I see you make mistakes.
Quick to do it.
So now, since I'm Captain Obvious and I see your mistakes, that justifies me to have an opinion about you, to say you don't deserve to be over me. Because you don't do these things like I do these things correct and you don't. So why should you be over me? That feeds that, man.
Oh yeah.
That feeds that judgment.
It doesn't go away because it's Tuesday.
Nah.
Spirit, the incident's over with, and now we're just gonna move on. That spirit is like a little seed, and it's just watered little by little, incident by incident, day by day, feeling by feeling. You look up in a year, you gotta sit here and have a major demon on you.
Yep. Major, bro.
That's what the Most High has.
And that progress in the camp fails, or that household fails. That household stops growing. Even children of parents. When children see flaws in their parents, what do?
Rebel.
Huh?
Rebel.
In what way?
Insubordinate.
How?
Not listening.
Because they feel like you're not qualified to do what?
Tell me what to do.
You're not qualified to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Who in the hell, in a right mind as a child, would have an opinion about their parent who brought them into the world? Who would have an opinion? I don't even know how many mistakes they got. That's not for you to dictate and say, you're not the boss of me. I shouldn't follow you. Well, you know what? If that was the case and the Most High saw fit to agree with your opinion, then you would have been the damn parent. And you would have had them as your child.
That's the truth.
Your mother would have been your daughter, and your father would have been your son. But obviously that's not what?
Okay.
That's not the damn case. So what is the Most High? How does the Most High view that? That's a damn disgrace. That's a spit in the Most High's face. Because now you're telling the Most High he made a mistake.
He ain't really doing it. He's not on his job.
The Most High not on his job, man. You're not on your job because you didn't put a reckless parent in front of me, full of errors. But does that qualify you to have an opinion? Yes.
Could you explain verse 11?
Verse 11 in Numbers chapter 12.
12:11, yes.
Read that one more time.
Numbers chapter 12, verse 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord.
Now, what he said, alas, my Lord, he's in shock. He's in shock because what he witnessed was a horrific incident. It was a tragedy.
That's like saying, oh my God.
Yeah.
Alas, my Lord is like saying, oh my God. OMG.
He's pleading, please. So when he said, alas, my Lord, yes, sir.
Alas, an explanation expressive of sorrow, grief, pity, concern, or apprehension of evil.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Sorry, it says here, expressing an extremely unhappy time.
So what words do you use when you're expressing an extremely unhappy time?
OMG, as we would say.
Oh my God. What the hell's going on? What is this?
Right.
She's dead. She's dying. Her color gone.
What's happening to her?
What's happening to her?
It's not like they read the scripture. Oh, this is Numbers chapter 12,
Yeah.
verse 4. They're not getting that. They're in the moment.
That's the first time you read about the Most High stripping a woman directly of her color because of an opinion.
Instantaneously.
Instantly. First, the Most High tell you, watch your mouth. And then when he leave, your skin go with it. That should be a warning. Yes.
They both spoke, Aaron and Miriam, but Aaron made this comment. Was that his way of repenting or
Yes.
recognizing his error?
The Most High plagued Miriam. Why? Miriam is what? Is a woman. First of all, the Most High deals with men as having the authority over women. So the Most High dealt with Aaron. He got stung by watching his sister get stung. But the Most High brought that plague out on Miriam because Miriam shouldn't have had that conversation.
I suffer not a woman to teach.
Right. She shouldn't have had that opinion and disclosed that, being that she's a woman. The Most High said the flock of my pasture are what?
Men.
Are men. So although the Most High was working with Miriam, when you read the scriptures, you hear about the songs of joy that Miriam would sung when the children of Israel got the victory in the land of Canaan. She was always the one praising and worshiping, and the people followed her songs and they danced to Miriam's songs. So Miriam was a forerunner of faith at this time, but she shouldn't have had an opinion on another man.
That was the problem.
That's the problem. She shouldn't have held on to that opinion. So that's why she got the brunt of the incident and the worst of the incident. But Aaron still had to plead to the Most High and beg Moses to cause the Most High to take his anger away. Read that one more time, verse 11.
Okay. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
So you understand what that verse 11 is?
No. What's lay not the sin? What sin? I'm sorry.
Okay, the sin. Let's
What
read.
sin is it?
Read up in verse 10.
Okay, verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous.
Now, somebody give me Leviticus 13.
Where you want to start?
Start at verse 1.
Leviticus 13 verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or bright spot.
That bright spot means what? White. That bright spot means white. When you start losing your skin color, your skin, we're melanated people. Melanin is responsible for skin protection from UV rays. It absorbs sun rays, and it also converts the sun rays into energy. It synthesizes the sun's rays and converts them into vitamin D.
And the hormone in the melanin itself makes people happy.
The hormones that makes you happy. It's necessary for mood stabilization. You need melanin for mood stabilization. People that are without the sun are often more suicidal. They're more often unhappy, like people that live in London, people that live in Alaska, who don't get Seattle, who don't get a lot of sun, who get constant days of rain. You look at those places and look at their suicide rate. So you get to see how necessary the sun is for mood stabilization. Yes, sir.
Is that in relation to melancholy, or is that just,
I guess you can say that.
I don't know.
But the melanin is two words put together. It's melas, which is Greek, means black. Nin is serotonin. So it's serotonin is hormone. So the word means black hormone. That's what the word means. So in order for you to have color, you have to have what?
Melanin.
You have to have melanin or black hormones. Hormones that have color. So it's necessary for skin protection. When you don't have melanin, 30 minutes of sun rays, of UV rays, burns and damages the skin and can create skin cancer. Melanoma, which is skin cancer. Within 30 minutes, the skin breaks down against the sun rays. But we, being people that are melanated people, that's why Issachar, Judah, Simeon, Zebulon, Ephraim, Manasseh, all the tribes, we could be outside in the beach all day. We could be in the field working, picking up crops all day.
And we'll fluctuate. Our tone will fluctuate with the exposure of the sun.
And when we get the sun, we actually radiate. We actually grow. We start to glow. Our skin tone starts to glow with the sun. Our skin is like solar panels to the body. And so, not having melanin in your body is a curse. Read down or jump down to verse 9.
Leviticus 13 and verse 9. When the plague of leprosy.
I said when the what?
When the plague.
What is leprosy?
A plague.
The plague.
Is a plague a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. It's a curse.
A plague is a what?
It's
a curse. When you don't have melanin in your skin, that's the Most High cursing you. Melanin, the lack of pigmentation, comes from recessive genes.
And recessive genes mean what?
Weaker genes. You have weaker genetic recessive genes that you need melanin for your eyes. That's why you have colored eyes. You need melanin for your eyes. People without melanin in their eyes, like albinos, they're often half blind.
Yeah.
Because they have no eye protection and they have trouble seeing.
That's inconvenient right there, right?
Most albinos have eye vision problems.
I know that.
They do. Most albinos can't see that good, and their eyes are deficient in their cells, and they usually have a variety of eye issues. You see their eyeballs going side to side because you need melanin to heal and help the eyes function in the cornea and the retina. You need melanin for hair color. That's what makes your eyebrows color. That's what gives your skin color. That's what gives your eyes color. It gives your hair color. Melanin is in all these things. If you don't have melanin in your hair, you will have white hair or blonde hair. It'll look like you had a bad perm or somebody bleached. You had a bad dye color, and somebody bleached the damn color out of your skin and out of your hair. what they call leprosy also shows up today as psoriasis. Also, it shows up today medically as lupus. It also shows up medically today as melanoma. They got different medical terms for it.
These aren't blessings.
But these are plagues. Why did Miriam get hit with a plague of leprosy? Because she had an opinion towards somebody that the Most High said you shouldn't have an opinion with. Because you got something to say about the person that the Most High put over you. And that's why you had to catch this plague. See, when you don't have melanin, your eyeballs don't have no color. They get white. Your hair turns white. That's what, if you read all of Leviticus chapter 13, we're not going to read it, but read all of Leviticus 13, it'll give you the different variations of how leprosy shows up, both in humans, both in hides and animals. Look up piebald. Look up piebald and look at images in Google right quick. Piebald, P-I-E-B-O-L-D, or B-A-L-D, piebald. Look up piebald real quick. Somebody Google that. Look at the images. Tell me what you see. Tell me how you spell it.
Pie and bald, literally. P-I-E-B-A-L-D.
All right, piebald. Read that. Look at the pictures. Read.
Piebald?
Yeah.
Piebald of a horse having.
So animals can have leprosy, and they call it what? Piebald. Crocodiles. You see albino alligators, and if you really grew up in the hood, you probably see some albino roaches every once in a while.
Yeah.
Depending on if you was in the hood for real. Out of them 10 million roaches, 1 or 2 will be white.
Yeah.
It'll be a regular roach, but it'll be all white.
Yeah.
Look like a ghost roach.
Goddamn ghost.
Yeah, like a damn Casper roach. But read that piebald real quick.
Piebald of a horse having.
And when alligators have leprosy, they don't live long.
No.
And they don't live long. They die quick, and they're partially blind. They're almost blind completely. You ever seen the white alligators? They don't live long. They blind.
White snake.
White snakes. Read that right there.
So piebald of a horse having irregular.
Having what?
Irregular.
No, regular.
Irregular.
So if you see it on Google, do you see a horse that's fully brown or red, or even a navy? Because there's navy colored horses. There's navy coats.
Crazy.
There's coats of navy. There's dark horses. There's black horses. There's brown horses. There's red horses. There's navy colored horses like a navy blue. He said, but a piebald horse is what?
It says having irregular.
Irregular what?
Patches.
Irregular what?
Irregular patches.
Leprosy shows up in animals. It shows up in humans, in hides, skins, in clothing, on cement, on walls, on materials. It shows up in a variety of places. That's why I said read all of Leviticus 13. What else you got?
Irregular patches of 2 colors, typically black and white.
So that's an irregularity. The Most High said, let all things be done how?
Decently and in order.
So when he made your skin, he made all your skin regular. So when you have an irregularity in the synthesis in your skin, and the skin cells, you got a problem. The Most High made all the cells to be the same color. But when you got white, you see people that got the white around the mouth, they got the white around the eyes, you see them losing their skin, they got the patch face, or they look like a damn raccoon. They got color around their eyes, but everything else is white around it. That's an irregularity. The skin is not supposed to be irregular. It's supposed to be smooth, even, clean, all one shade. But the Most High, that's a plague. So we got that point? All right? That's not a good thing. All right? So now do you understand Numbers chapter 12, verse 11, sis?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And whenever you got questions, anybody got a question, just ask. We don't mind slowing it down. We just want to show that it's not a good thing to have irregular skin color, and color that's skin that's stripped of its color, of its melanin. Color means pigmentation. If you don't have color, you don't have pigment. Pigment means color. All right. So we got that in Numbers, right? Let's go to James chapter 1 verse 12.
James 1:12.
Mm-hmm. Read that.
James,
Page 584. Blue book.
page 584 in the blue book. James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
A sister asked if a person has vitiligo, are they cursed? A family member has vitiligo. It is a curse. It is a plague. It is a disease. Like all diseases come from who?
The Most
The
High.
Most High. The Most High said He wounds, and He also says what?
He heals.
He heals. A lot of times when you look at leprosy in the Bible, a lot of stories that you deal with when you deal with leprosy, they come from people that had an obstinate thought process towards the Most High. They had an obstinate. Get the definition of obstinate, because you're gonna see that definition a lot of times. They had an obstinate heart towards the Most High, or towards somebody that the Most High had favor towards, or it was a punishment set on those that didn't believe or were non-believers.
Obstinate, stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion.
It says, what does obstinate mean?
Stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion.
So what the Most High does is He makes apparent on the outside of the skin what's going on the inside of a person. So he makes a person's skin be a reflection of what's going on inside that person's mind. Since you're stubborn on the inside, I'm going to make your stubbornness be shown where? On the outside. So that people can see your unbelief. So people can see your stubbornness. So like many diseases, the Most High uses these diseases. We got a variety of classes. One of them is called a distemper. Now Ward went over it. I think he went over that class, right?
Distemper?
Distemper. It's a
Hey,
distemper.
both y'all gotta get that topic.
I haven't gone over it, but I have a class called a
I
distemper.
remember the class.
And I think Award just went over it recently, and I don't think Award's finished with it. He might have some more to go with it. But what you're going to find out is a distemper is a disease or a plague that affects both the body and the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And these plagues, and if you also have another class, which you should have, if not, we'll teach it, no problem, called The Most High Kills.
Mm-hmm.
And what this class will dictate is to show you the variety of ways that the Most High will punish a person that's not in order or not in line with His commandments. So, for example, rabbit's feet carry leprosy. For example, armadillos carry leprosy. I have family members that eat both of those. That eat armadillos, that will run over, that will be driving 55 miles an hour, see an armadillo, and skirt off the road, skirt, and hit the armadillo, blah, blah, and then jump out the car, jump out the truck, grab him by the tail, and throw the armadillos in the truck.
Call it good eating.
And then go home and rip the shell off, because they got that armored shell, rip the shell off the back. Put a skewer, cut the head off and the feet off, and then put a skewer through the armadillo and roast them on a skewer, like a shish kebab. And then start picking the meat off. And talking about the meat is sweet. Oh, that's some sweet. That's some sweet meat.
Yeah, that's some roadkill.
Like, man, you keep that sweet meat.
That's some roadkill.
But how many of our people eat rabbits too? Eat rabbit's meat.
Act like it's normal.
Act like it's meat, but it's normal. But rabbit's feet carry leprosy.
What about squirrel brains?
I don't know about squirrel brains.
Yeah.
But I know our people eat some ridiculous things that carry these diseases that the Most High said thou shalt not eat. You don't eat these things, right? But you know what? Our people don't agree. So because our people have an obstinate heart, what's that definition again?
Obstinate, stubbornly refuse to change one's opinion.
So when the Most High give me laws concerning dietary laws that is clean animals and unclean animals, when our people say, you know what, I love catfish, I love shrimp, I love lobster, I love clams, I love crab legs, I love crawfish, I love pork. What does the Most High call that mind?
Obstinate.
What's the definition again?
Stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or chosen course of action despite attempts to persuade one to do so.
So after the Most High is showing a person, hey, be careful when you're going against my commandments. So when they refuse to change, that person has an obstinate heart. So you'll find quite often that leprosy is associated with people that have an obstinate heart. All right? What you got? James, right? Let's read that.
James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation.
But let's say, blessed is the man that endures temptation. Read on.
For when he is tried.
So what we find out in Numbers chapter 12 is that Miriam and Aaron was being tested with Moses having an Ethiopian wife. They were being tested. Read on.
He shall receive the crown of life.
Read on.
Which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
Read on.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil.
Read on.
Neither tempted he any man.
So did the Most High give Moses the Ethiopian woman just to give Miriam leprosy? No. No.
No.
The Most High didn't give Moses the Ethiopian just so Aaron and Miriam can have an opinion and then set them up to fail just to strip her of her skin color. It wasn't a setup. What she failed was a test of her opinion, of keeping a pure outlook. That's what she failed in. She couldn't look at Moses in a pure light anymore because she saw flaw. Aaron couldn't look at Moses in a pure light anymore because he saw flaw. That happens to everybody. When the minute I see flaw in somebody that the Most High may be dealing with, I no longer keep a pure outlook to that person because I see flaw. And because I see flaw in that person, then it jogs my ideas and my thoughts that maybe they shouldn't be over me. It feeds the notion that I should be over them.
Yeah.
It feeds the notion that I should be in charge.
Why am I under this guy?
Why am I under this person? So what Miriam and Aaron did was fail a test of an opinion that they were not supposed to have. Or if I'm a child and I see flaw in my parents, I failed the test because I saw mistakes in my parents. Yeah. So now I classify them as unsuitable to follow, yeah, unfit to follow. And now because I see them unfit to follow, I failed the test. Because I can't look at them pure anymore. Read on.
Verse 14.
Same with a wife to a husband. Because I see my husband's flaws, he's unfit to follow. Is that true? Is that necessarily true? No. That's not necessarily true. Read.
Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
It said, but every man is tempted with his opinion also when he's drawn out of what?
Of his own lust.
And we know that the scripture said the spirit lusted the what?
Envy.
So what is the outcome of some people's lust? Envy. Envy is the outcome of some people's lust.
So envy is lust is the original element, and then the baby of that lust is envy.
That's one of the babies of that lust.
Then it's strife.
It's a lust of the flesh. Envy is a lust of the flesh. It can give birth. The lust can give birth to envy. So that when a person is tempted, it's not the Most High setting them up. That wasn't a setup by the Most High to give Moses an Ethiopian wife. That wasn't the Most High setting them two up. That was their own thoughts and their own opinion becoming negative because they didn't agree with his decision making. Because I don't agree with his decision making. So I chose to be negative. Read that part again.
God, James chapter 1 verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
And enticed. Read on.
Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
So when I might have this thought, but you know, a lot of us have negative thoughts. But did Miriam and Aaron had to speak on their negative thoughts? Did they have to should they have gone as far as trying to check Moses about his decision making?
Definitely not.
No. You should have kept your mouth closed. You should have kept your opinion to yourself. A lot of us got negative thoughts and see flaw, but that doesn't give the right to just act out on it. Read on.
Verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Now the Most High could have killed Miriam, but he had mercy on her. He had mercy on her. So now we understand a lot better Romans chapter 14 verse 4. One more time. And then somebody get 1 Corinthians 10 and 12.
Romans 14 and 4.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Romans chapter 14 and verse 4 reads, Who art thou that judgest another man's servant?
Go ahead.
To his own master he standeth or falleth.
Now we understand the scripture a lot better.
Come.
It's not my determination to dictate when a person is standing strong and they're in a position of authority or power, or when a person is weak and they should be removed from a position of power. That's not my decision. The Most High sets all that up. My job is to be in order and stay positive and keep a pure outlook no matter what. But a lot of times we get justified in our opinions and we think we're qualified to now have an opinion because we see mistakes. And that person belongs to the Most High. They got to answer to the Father for whatever they do. That's why Christ said even to the Pharisees in Matthew 23, he said, do as they say, but what?
Not as they do.
But not as they do. You still got to listen to them. Just don't repeat after their works. But you still got to do what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us feel like the minute we see something wrong with somebody, you're no longer qualified to be over me. I should have had that position. A lot of it's coming from envy. I should have been in that position of authority. I can't wait till you make a mistake. Ooh, as soon as you mess up. Ooh, I'm waiting. Ooh, I'm calculating. I've been waiting on this for a long time. I've been plotting. I've been waiting for you to. Ooh, man, I got it ready. I have my decisions. Just waiting for you to make a mistake so it can justify my next move.
Intricate plot.
It can justify my decision making. That's what our people do. But it's not your job to judge the Most High servant. That's the Most High. That servant belongs to the Most High. That person that may be over you, that person belongs to the Most High. Obviously, the Most High saw it fit to put that person over you. Read on.
Come. To his own master he standeth or falleth.
It says to his own master he does what?
He standeth or falleth.
Give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 12.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. Whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
It says, Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth.
So now, for the person that thinks they're standing, because I feel like I'm strong, that I'm correct in my thought process. For the person that feels like I'm empowered and I should be in a position of authority, he said, let every person that think he standeth. Read on.
That thinketh he standeth, take heed.
It says, take heed, what?
Lest he fall.
How can a person then that's strong in their opinion be close to being to falling? What is the danger of a person that thinks that they're strong and they should be in power? What's the danger to that? You got pride. Pride come before a fall. And a heart of spirit before destruction. So what that is that if I start thinking that I'm deserving to be in a position of authority over another person because I can see their flaw, he says you better be careful. Because your downfall could be coming very soon. So you have to watch your opinion. You have to watch your thought process. You have to watch your perspective. Your perspective is dangerous even if you're up and the person over you is down, you still got to watch your perspective. Even if you might have not made a consistent slew of mistakes that the person over you has made, but you still got to watch your opinion. Because you could still be close to what? Falling. You got to understand that. There's a way to look at everything. There's a way to look at every person. But a lot of times we're ruled by immature thought processes. And we're ruled by envy, which comes from lust of the flesh. We're ruled by ill judgments and opinions based on pride, based on who I feel like is qualified for me to follow and who's not. I'll follow this person, but I don't know about you. I think the Most High made a mistake by putting you in charge over me. I should have had that position. Well, if that's the case, let's find out. All right, let that go. Let's go to James chapter 1, verse 17.
Page 584.
Read verse 16, I'm sorry. Start at verse 16.
James 1, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
James chapter 1, verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brother.
He said, don't make a mistake. How did Miriam and Aaron make a mistake?
They spoke openly against Moses.
They had an opinion to the person that the Most High put over them. He said, don't err, my beloved brother. Read.
Every good gift and every perfect gift
He
is
said,
from above.
He said, every good gift is from where?
Above.
It's from above. So if the Most High put Moses over Miriam and Aaron, whose doing was that? If the Most High chose your parents to be the leaders over you, who decided to do that?
The Most High.
If the Most High put your husband over you and gave your husband charge over you, who decided to do that?
The Most High.
The Most High did. Read it again.
Come. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above.
He said, every good gift and every perfect gift is from where?
Above.
It's from above. It's the Most High's doing. The Most High decides who shall rise and who shall fall. That's not my decision. My decision, in my opinion, is to follow, to be in order. And the Most High will do whatever He's going to do. That's not my decision. But a lot of times, our decisions are stoked by envy. Matter of fact, let's read that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 11. Start at verse 24.
Numbers 11 in the blue book, page 76. Page 76.
Numbers 11 and verse 24. Right.
Read that.
And Moses went out and told the people the word of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in a cloud, and spake unto him, and took off the spirit that was upon him.
Now, the Most High had endowed Moses with a particular spirit. And so the Most High had a favor to Moses and gave him a very strong spirit. So he said he took the spirit that we gave Moses and did what?
And gave it unto the 70 elders.
He says, we have another quote on the class that said, my son's friend is albino and needs very dark tinted sunglasses to go outside in the sun. Same thing we was talking about earlier. I just read it right now. I just saw it right now. Yes, it's true. So when your eyeballs are stripped of its tint, it cannot endure the UV rays for too long. The UV rays will damage the eyeballs and the retina of that person. That's an albino. Now an albino is originally a what?
White.
No. It's a person of color. An albino originally is a person of color that has been born without what?
Without pigmentation.
Without their pigmentation. But originally they had what? They had color. It was a person of color. Although their hair may be white or blonde or reddish, their eyes may be white, blonde, or reddish, or their skin, their eyebrows, their nails, everything on the body that's supposed to be white, dark, is stripped. But initially they were a person of color. I just saw that right now. And so yeah, they got to protect them eyes, man. You don't have no pigment. You have no UV protection whatsoever. You'll be using SP 5550 or whatever them damn numbers are. The damn sunblock. Yeah. Yes.
In Matthew 15:11, it says that I was looking at this verse in Miriam. It says that what came out of the mouth, that's what defiles them. Is that so? When Miriam spoke, she defiled herself.
Yeah. Because what comes out of the mouth is what? What's the first thing mentioned that comes out of the mouth of a person?
What's on their mind?
But what? Read Mark 7:20. What's the first thing out of a person's mouth? Let's find out. Read that right there. What's the first thing out of a person's mouth? Yes. What comes out of a person's mouth does defile. What comes out of the heart of men defile men. But what's the first thing that it says that comes out of a person's heart? Let's read.
Mark chapter 7 and verse 20. And he said, that which cometh out of a man, that defileth the man.
It says that comes out of a man, that's what defiles a man. It's not the environment around you. It's what comes out of you. Read on.
For from within, out of the heart of men,
out of the mind of men, go ahead,
proceed evil thoughts.
Stop. What's the first thing that defiles a man?
Evil thoughts.
What's the first thing that proceeds out of a person's thought process or mind that the Most High qualifies as defiling? It can defile them or taint them or pollute them.
Evil thoughts.
It's evil thoughts. Before it goes on to anything else, the first thing that's negative in a person is their what?
Thoughts.
Is their mind, their thoughts. They got something to say. That's where the Most High. That's where the Most High starts to determine whether the Most High should hit him with a leprosy, or hit him with a plague, or hit him with a punishment, because you got something to say, because you have an opinion.
But there was no punishment previous to that.
No,
You were good before that.
Yep. But now you got an opinion. You got something to say. You have an opinion. You want to share your thoughts. Now you want to share your opinion. And a lot of us think we're justified in giving people a piece of our mind. And I'm justified in that. Well, the Most High doesn't always agree with that. And the Most High has to let it be known by a variety of punishments that he doesn't agree with that. And that's why we got totally separate, we got whole classes set up to show you how the Most High deals with inadequate thought processes. All right, we got classes directly for that, which we'll get to that down the line. All right, but read that right there.
Come on. Mark chapter 7 and verse 20.
No, not Mark. Let's let that go in Mark. Let's go. Let's pick that up in Numbers.
Numbers 11 in verse
24. Sorry, 24.
24. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in a cloud, and spake unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him.
So the Most High took the spirit that he put on Moses, and he did what?
And gave it unto the 70 elders.
So he broke up the spirit that was on Moses, and passed that spirit out to the 70 elders. Read on.
And it came to pass, that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease.
So obviously Moses had a real strong spirit, because when the Most High gave them 70 elders a piece of the Moses spirit, he said they prophesied, they kept teaching, and they did not stop. So whatever spirit was on Moses was real strong. Read on.
Verse 26. But there remained
Small Family Online.
But there remained 2 of the men of the camp.
Now, out of the 70 elders, they was teaching. Boom, 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 boom. They was teaching. But 2 men stayed in the camp. Go ahead.
The name of the one was Eldad,
Go ahead.
and the name of the other was Medad.
So Eldad and Medad stayed in the camp. Now they also got a piece of Moses' spirit, but they just didn't go out. They stayed where they were, but they still had a piece of Moses' spirit. Read on.
And the Spirit rested upon them.
And the spirit did what?
Rested upon them.
Read on.
And they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle.
So they didn't go out unto the tabernacle. Go ahead.
And they prophesied in the camp.
So they stayed in the camp and taught. Read on.
And there ran a young man, and told Moses, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp.
So now here comes a young man coming back to give Moses a report.
Yeah.
Those two men are prophesying in the camp. Read on.
And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, My Lord, Moses forbid them.
He said, Lord, Moses, my Lord, do what?
Forbid them.
Now, why would Joshua tell Moses to prevent these two men that got a piece of the Moses' spirit to shut them down? How would he do that? Read on.
Verse 29. And Moses said unto him, Enviest thou for my sake?
Oh,
Oh, man.
Called him right
That's
out.
the root of it, though.
Wait a minute.
Called him right out.
Wait a minute. Why would Joshua tell Moses
wow.
to prevent these two men from teaching?
Envy.
Because then you got a piece of the spirit.
Yes. Envy is a mother, ain't it, bro? Envy is a mother. Envy is evil, man. That's. It said Wisdom of Solomon. It said through the envy of the devil, right?
The envy of the devil.
Death came into the world, man.
It was that.
Cain killed Abel because of what?
Envy.
Envy, man. Envy's crazy. Envy will have you talking cash crap about the people that the Most High is working with, even if you see flaw in them. Envy will have you talking reckless out of your mouth and be opinionated when you shouldn't have no opinion. Moses picked up right away what the hell was wrong with Joshua.
He caught it quick.
He caught it fast, man. Oh, why you want me to stop these men from teaching? They teaching. He smelt it on him. Man, you must be wearing Gucci Envy. That is a cologne. Envy me, Gucci envy me. Gucci envy, that is a real cologne. He smelt it on him, man. Oh, you wearing that again, huh? You got that on you. Because why else would somebody want to stop somebody from doing something positive?
Yeah.
Why should I snitch on a person? Because what? Because I'm envious. That's why I feel like somebody stole my blessing. Because I'm what?
Envious.
Because I'm envious. Because I don't agree that the Most High is working through this person. Now, if I'm at the mall, and I've been at the mall for years as a salesman, and if the Most High is working through a young man at the zone, why the hell should I be jealous?
You should actually be proud of that.
I've seen that many times where the young man got the hot hand. Have you not seen that
Oh
before?
yeah, millions. Thousands of times. Thousands.
Thousands of times. Thousands of times where you at the mall, normally you're the experienced brother. Normally you have the advantage. Normally, it's easy. You got the mall on lock. You have a specific confidence that and a surety and a level of faith to know that I can activate a sale. I'm not going to doubt. I'm going to call everybody with power. I'm convinced that the Most High is with me. But sometimes the Most High is not with you. Sometimes the Most High is working with the young man, the brand new man. Is it my job to shut the young man down if the Most High is working through him?
That's not what Moses did.
Huh?
Moses didn't do it.
Moses didn't do it.
Christ didn't do it either.
Christ didn't do
He
it.
said they teaching about
They
power.
cast out devils in thy name.
Yeah, he's like,
He said if they're not be
Yeah.
against me, then what? Then they for me. He said prevent them not. It's many times that I'm looking at the young man, and the young man is popping. He's rolling, and his cells are banging. Boom, 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 boom.
Destroying them all.
Destroying and killing them all. And I'm looking back, and I'm admiring. I'm like, man, I like what he said. I would have never said that. But I like what he said. I commend that. They say a wise man heareth the wise, a skillful man heareth the wise saying, commended. He said, but a fool, and add on too, but a fool heareth the wise word and do what? Cast it over his back. Cast it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at something that somebody else is doing that's working, I can either try to shut them down, or I can say, man, I like that about what you're doing. I can commend it. Many times I say, you know what, brother? Keep up the good work. I encourage that, bro. You're doing great. You're doing a good job, brother. Keep it up. You're doing, hey, brother, you're doing strong. Just make this, I might even just make a minor tweak. A minor adjustment. Keep doing what you're doing. Just add this right here. You know what I'm saying? You could have had that sale, but boom, do this. Just add this little different. The Most High is working with you. He's blessing your hands.
Keep popping.
Keep it going. You're doing well. You're doing great. But you know what? Sometimes what we do is this. That envy, though, of being a man, and you be at work, and the man see you doing something right, and the man don't have a problem with it. You didn't do that right. I'm jealous of the fact that what?
That you're getting the blessing.
That the Spirit of the Most High has rested upon you. I shouldn't be mad at that. I should be excited about that, man. I should be applauding the fact that, you know what? The Most High is raising up more skillful individuals. Why should I be jealous or envious that another man, the Most High is working through another man's hands? But that's not what we do, though. What we do is, we see the Most High working through another man, and we get angry. We say, they stole my position. Man, they stole my spot. They stole my shine. I was supposed to get that shine. I was supposed to get that sale. I was supposed to get that crowd. I was supposed to entertain those individuals. I was supposed to get that customer. Because I'm looking at it wrong. I'm looking at how the Most High extends and dispenses His blessings the wrong way. I should be happy that the Most High is raising up individuals that have skills that adds to what we're doing. And we're going to dig into it a little bit more. But read that part again one more time. That last verse.
Numbers 11 and verse 29. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake?
Oh, you jealous for me?
For me.
Oh, you jealous for me? You think I'm jealous that the Most High took the spirit that was on me and passed it out to these other men? And now I'm supposed to stop these men from teaching? Oh, you're jealous for me? What Moses is saying is, you're not jealous for me. You're jealous for who? For you. You're envious, Joshua. I'm not jealous of these men. I'm not envious of these men. You're not doing me no favors by trying to stick up for me. You're jealous from yourself that these men is what the Most High is working through. Why do you have a problem with that? Read on.
With the Most High that all the Lord's
He said, if it was up to me, he said, if I had it my way, I'd be happy that the Most High do what?
That all the Lord's people were prophets?
He said, wouldn't you want all the Lord's people to be what?
Prophets?
Why would you be mad trying to stifle somebody else's development? Because you're what? Because you're jealous. Because you're envious.
It's not going to grow anymore.
You're not going to grow no more. Yeah, for real. You're not growing anymore. Why would you try to put a cap on somebody's growth? Why would you not want the Most High to work through somebody? Because a lot of times what we think is, when somebody else is getting the advantage, that feeds insecurity in us. Because somebody else is excelling, we become insecure. And because we're insecure, I start to diminish my work ethic. We're going to prove it. Let's go to John chapter 3. We're going to prove it. Let's go to John chapter 3, start at verse 22.
St. John chapter 3, verse 22. That's page 508 in the blue book. Page 508 in the blue book.
right.
Ready?
Hold tight. Let everybody get it. Everybody got it? All right, read that.
St. John chapter 3 and verse 22 reads, After these things came Yahushua and his disciples into the land of Judea.
Now, we got to pay attention to what's happening. Christ and his disciples, the students that followed Christ, came into the land of what?
Judea.
Judea. So here you have Christ and his disciples going into Judea. Read on.
And there he tarried with them.
It says, and Christ was with those disciples. Read on.
And baptized.
And Christ was doing what in Judea?
And baptized.
Class, what was Christ doing in Judea?
Baptizing.
He was baptizing. Anybody not know what a baptizing is? Anybody know what baptizing is? All right. Cool. All right. He was baptizing. Go ahead.
And John also was baptizing in Aranon, near to Salem, because there was much water there.
Okay, so now John the Baptist, he's called John the what?
Baptist.
Because he's known for doing what?
Baptizing.
So here's Christ and his disciples in Judea, baptizing people in Judea. Also, you have John the Baptist and his disciples that follow him. They also are baptizing very close to Judea. Right? So you have two crews of believers, both doing what?
Baptizing.
They're both doing the same job.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. Christ and his disciples are baptizing. John and his disciples are baptizing. And they're very close to each other. Read on.
And John also was baptizing in Aranon near to Salem, because there was much water there.
Go ahead.
And they came and were baptized.
Okay, so people came to John and they got baptized by John. Read on.
For John was not yet cast into prison. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples.
Hold on.
That's the Spirit.
Here we go again.
Whoa.
Let's go.
We got Christ and his disciples baptizing people. Very close to John and his disciples, John the Baptist and his disciples baptizing people. But where did this conflict come from? Now you got an issue. Aren't they doing the same thing? Aren't they converting believers and making believers out of people? Aren't they causing through baptism the remission of sins? What's the issue? Same job. What's the issue? Let's find out. Read.
Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples.
Now you got John the Baptist disciples got a question to John. Go ahead.
And the Jews about purifying.
Go ahead. And the Jews about purifying. So John's disciples feel like the work that they're doing for John excels and supersedes what the other disciples of Christ are doing. Christ and the other disciples are doing. And it excels what the Jews are doing with the washing of the pots and the ceremonies. So the disciples of John feel like their job excels everybody's job.
It sounds very familiar.
Our job is more important than everybody's job.
Yeah.
In the spirit. What we're doing for the Most High is on another level. It's above what everybody else is doing. That's how John the Baptist's disciples feel. Read on.
Verse 26. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi.
They call John what?
Rabbi.
What does rabbi mean?
Master.
Master.
Teacher.
Or teacher. So they're giving him what? Respect. They're giving him respect. They're giving him honor. They're calling him master, teacher. Because that's how they look up to their master. They look up to their teacher as a master. He said, Rabbi, what?
He that was with thee beyond Jordan.
He said, the guy that was with you, they didn't even call his name. what's his name? That other guy.
What you call
Who was that other guy? That other guy was who?
Christ.
They call him master, rabbi. They refer to Christ as who? He. Read.
He that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness. Behold, the same
He
baptizes.
said, to whom you was bearing witness. You was bearing witness of him. You foretold his coming. Go ahead.
Behold, the same baptizes.
He said, this guy's baptizing people now. You was foretelling his coming. Now he's doing your job. Why is he baptizing? What do you sense that's happening right here?
Envy and vainglory.
Why are these guys baptizing? Read on.
And all men came to him.
And he's good at it too. That boy good. He not only is he baptizing and taking your job, doing your job, but he's got everybody following him. Read on.
And all men can come to him.
And all men come to him. What do you sense is happening right here?
Something brewing.
What do you feel like is stirring up right here?
They're mad that they're not getting as much recognition.
Boom.
What's status, man?
I'm not getting recognition no more.
Notoriety.
Somebody's taking my shine. Somebody's taking my glory.
Yeah.
Somebody's taking the spotlight off of me. I can't handle that. I'm not good. I'm not okay with that.
I don't like that.
Somebody's doing my job better than I do my job. And I thought I was the best at my job.
I trained him.
And I trained him. I foretold his coming. He got the job from me.
I put you in this position.
I gave you the template. I trained you.
Man.
How is it that you doing what we do and everybody's following you? To get the answer to this, we want to go to the Matthew Henry to get a little bit more details about what spirit is going on right here. What verse you on, my one?
26. I'm on the 27 now. I'm done with 26.
So let's read this right here. Hold on, read verse. We got to read this right here. Read verse 27.
God, verse 27.
And somebody go back and read James chapter 1 verse 17.
Right?
Yep.
St. John chapter 3 and verse 27 reads, John answered and said.
So what was John's answer to his disciples that said, Master, the guy, he that you prophesied was coming, foretold is coming, he's baptizing and everybody's following him. What was John's answer? Read.
John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven.
So what was John's understanding?
Spirit. He didn't have ownership of the Spirit.
Boom. Great answer, man. That is the answer, actually. Nobody has a monopoly on the Spirit. Nobody has a monopoly. Nobody has a patent on the Spirit of the Most High. The Most High can work through whoever he want to work through.
That's what we got. It's his spirit.
It's his Spirit. He decides to break it off and give it to whoever he chooses. That's not for you to say. That's not your call. You're not the progenitor and the owner and the creator of the Spirit. So, but it's a problem if I feel like the Spirit is not working with me. Because I get insecure when the Spirit's not working with me. But I see it working with somebody else. Read. Read that one time.
God. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven.
So, what was that we read in James?
James chapter 1 verse 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above.
So what did Paul say?
He said, every good gift.
Oh, that's James actually. James said every good gift and every what?
And every perfect gift is from above.
See, men that have understanding can recognize that if a man is got the hot hand, so to speak, if the Most High is working through that man and that man is successful, who's making that man successful?
The Most High.
It's the Father anyway.
It's the Father
It's
that's
not
doing
that
it.
man.
It's not the man.
Yeah, that's real.
But I'm tripping on the man though. But I'm not recognizing who's working with that man. So I'll have an unduly high opinion of myself, and I'll express my discontent with the fact that the Most High is raising that man up and the Most High is working through that man, because I'm too busy looking at the man, and I see the man's flaws. But I'm not looking at where the man get the gift from. Where did the man get the success from?
The promotion.
Where did the man? Who promoted that man in that position?
Most High.
The Most High did that. See, spiritual-minded men could recognize when another man is being successful at what he does, that I have no need to be envious of him, because that's the Most High's doing. The Most High is working with that man right now. Why would I have a problem with that? Spiritually minded men don't have an issue with that because they know where it comes from. They know where the gifts come from. They know where the abilities come from. They know where the success comes from. They know where the rank comes from. But a carnal-minded man perceives not the what?
Spirit of the Most High.
The things of the Spirit. He said because they're spiritually discerned. Meaning he can't identify where the Spirit is coming from, of where this person is getting their authority from, their rank from, their esteem from, their position from, their promotion from, because they can't see it. But spiritual-minded men can see it. They know that every good gift comes from where?
From the Most High.
Read that again.
It says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above.
Go ahead.
And cometh down from the Father.
And it comes from who?
From the Father.
So what did John the Baptist tell his disciples when he sensed a little bit of envy coming out of them?
Every good gift.
No. John chapter 3, by Waller. Verse 27.
John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven.
It has to come from where?
A man
Heaven.
can receive nothing.
So if that man is tasting success at the place that I work and he's outshining me, who's allowing this man to outshine me?
The Most High.
The Most High is. So is there a cause or a reason for me to be jealous because this man is doing well? Why the hell would I have a problem with that?
I'm out the Spirit.
Because I'm out the Spirit.
I'm way out the Spirit.
Because I lack understanding. Because I'm in my flesh.
Come.
And I'm in my lust. But a spiritual-minded man could recognize, man, that's the Most High working with that man. Let me shut my mouth. Let me keep my opinion to myself. Because I don't have a monopoly on the Spirit. I'm not the sole controller of the Spirit of the Most High. That comes from the Most High down. We don't dictate that. That's a gift that the Father gives. And he said he give it to all men how? Liberally. Why the hell would I got a problem with it? Read verse 27 again.
John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from the heaven. Yea, yourselves bear me witness.
He says, yea, yourselves bear me witness. John said, man, I told y'all. Y'all heard, y'all have known me say this before. I've said this already to y'all. I've already told you this already, that what?
Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said I am not the Christ.
He said, I told you that I wasn't the what?
Christ.
He said, I told you already that I'm not the Christ.
Wow.
Why the hell do you now not believe that that man is the Christ? What do you think I was trying to tell you the whole time? The Most High brought me here to prepare the way for the Lord. And in the process of me preparing the way, now he's here. Now you're seeing why everybody's following him. Now you're able to see why everybody is getting baptized by him. Is John angry about the success of Christ?
No.
No. But he's checking his disciples because they got the wrong mind frame. Because they think that Christ is still in John's glory. And that's foolish. And that's why he said, I told y'all that I wasn't the Christ, that he's the Christ. Read.
But that I am sent before him.
That I was the one that was told and prepared before he came. My job was to prepare the way for the Lord. It wasn't to be the Lord.
And he said it before. I'm pretty sure John the Baptist was thorough.
You know he was thorough.
He was thorough at it. It's Scripture said he was greatest of men living at.
Christ said that.
Christ said that himself.
Christ gave John props. Yes, sir.
He also said he wasn't worthy to unlatch his shoe.
Yeah, he said to his shoe, I'm not worthy to unlatch it.
I'm sure his disciples was.
So he told his disciples the greatness of the one that's coming after him. But they obviously, that wasn't how they was feeling when they saw everybody started following Christ. Yes, sir.
Is that, I guess, another reason of why they weren't getting the recognition that they thought they deserved?
They thought that somebody's stopping their shine. Somebody else is diminishing their value. Because that's what insecure people think. Because somebody else's success is making me feel bad. That's what insecurity does to a person. Yes, sir.
Question. So, sorry, this just hit my mind now. Couldn't we parallel this with Genesis, where it says, "If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted"?
Right.
That's all I'm just asking.
You can, but we know why Cain killed Abel. Because what? Envy. But that's a killer to a lot of people. Because what I'll not be able to recognize is that the Most High is working through that person. Through my lack of understanding. Let's read this right here. Matthew Henry.
That John was baptizing. Christ's baptism was for substance. The same with John's.
It says they had a purpose. He says both of their baptisms had a purpose. Right? Read.
For John bore witness to Christ.
So John was the one that was preparing the way to bear witness to Christ. Read on.
And therefore did not at all clash to. I'm sorry. Gotta focus on. It says the same with John's, for John bore witness of Christ, and therefore did not at all clash or interfere with one another.
So did Christ's ministry clash with John's ministry? No, not at all. But so two men having the same job, doing the same thing in proximity to each other, they should be able to do a job without clashing. But where was the tension coming from? It was coming from the ignorance of the disciples. So if I'm at work with another brother, he has a different style than I have. Should my style clash with his style? Or should it both be to the benefit of the job itself? That's the way it should be. My style is not, his way of doing things is not my way. But when you put them together, they shouldn't clash together. But unfortunately, everywhere we go, we have a clash of methods. Whether it's in the house, husband and wife, why'd you do it this way? Why'd you put the clothes like this and that with that cycle on hot? I would have put it on warm. It'd be a clash. It'd be a clash of every damn thing. Why'd you turn left? I would have turned right. Why'd you go this way? This way's faster. You took the long route. Why you take the long route? God damn, can we get to where are we not going to the same place? But why is it always an opinion about which direction we gotta go? Shouldn't we both be okay? We're in the car together. The car is not gonna split in half. But what's happening in the car?
It's kind of like your boy, bro, when y'all were like, he was going one way.
Yeah, kind.
And he was going the other way.
I was in a boat. I was about 15 years old in the wintertime in a boat. Me and a buddy of mine we didn't know it had a hole in it until we got to the middle of the lake. And in the middle of the lake is an island.
Good job.
So about halfway through, I realized, man, this boat is not gonna make it. We're taking too much water. So he says, well, let's get to the island. Man, it's 30 degrees outside.
Right.
How we gonna get back from the island? The boat's gonna sink. I said, let's go back to the land. He said, no, let's go back to the island. Let's make it to the island. So we got 2 fence posts. We don't even have paddles. We got 2x4s. I'm going back to the land. He's going back to the island. He's trying to go to the middle of the lake to the island.
Oh, no.
So all we doing is going in circles. And because I'm going one direction, he's going the other. So we're making the boat spin. And all we're doing is taking water and doing circles because we're not in agreement. So finally he said, okay, I'll go to where you're going. So we start going back to the land, and the boat, we both on the front of the boat. The back of the boat's underwater. So we both sitting on the tip of the boat. And I just jumped. I just said, man, I'm not finna just sink and let the boat go. I'm just finna swim. Water came out. It's 30 degrees outside. I'm in cold, ice cold weather, ice cold water. Because he didn't want it, because we couldn't come to a decision and make the same decision at the same time. Because I wasn't trying to go to that damn island and then having to swim all the way back. Would have been stuck.
Right.
But that's what happens when you got 2 people that's not in agreement. They're clashing in their thought process. But why are they clashing in their thought process? Because you have 2 different opinions present. And what you're finding out is that John and Christ, they both had disciples. They both were baptizing in a city that was in proximity of each other, and they didn't clash. But to the ignorant young mind, they clashed. It was the young mind of the disciples not understanding that Christ was greater than John the Baptist, had an issue out of envy that he was gaining more following than they did. Because you got more views. Because you got more following. That's why for us, we don't be knocking out other brothers and sisters that teach.
Right.
We not be tripping on camps, be banging on other camps. We don't do that.
Yeah, it's like a game.
Like a gang mentality. Are they not teaching Christ? Then good for them. I watch other camps classes. I watch other Israelite shows. Good. It's all the same kingdom, bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully we all make it. We all trying to get to the same place. Your method may be a little different. Our method may be a little different. Y'all may do street speaking. We do a lot of class. Hey, what are we trying to do though? Are we both not trying to make it? Are we both not trying to wake up our people? We're not clashing with other camps. We're not clashing with each other. But to a young, immature mind, it's about perspective. It's about notoriety. It's about advantage.
Clout.
It's about clout. To an ignorant mind.
This is the same kind of mind as you had Abraham and Lot.
Yep.
Abraham and Lot were dwelling peaceably together.
Until their herdsmen clashed. Abraham and Lot didn't have a problem with each other. But their herdsmen had a problem with each other. It's the immature minds that have a problem. Our styles should accentuate each other. Our differences should accentuate the circumstance. I remember when I was selling oils, me and a war was selling oils. A war has a way of selling oils. I had a way of selling oils. A war pounce on you. Pow! He'll hit you. Pow! And once he got you, you ain't going nowhere. You buy whatever he finna slap in your hand. You finna get it. I let people think they finna get away. I let them think they was about to get away. It wasn't going nowhere. So, but when you put both our styles together, we produce numbers that Yahweh said he broke the record. Him and Kahan broke. I doubt it.
Didn't happen now.
I'm telling you, Yahweh, I don't know it yet. Y'all didn't break that record me and the war put up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. But we were just talking about this the other day. But we did some outstanding numbers. Because he had a style that was different from my style. But when you put it together, nobody was getting past our business without buying something. Because that's what great minds supposed to do. They're supposed to accentuate each other. But when you got young minds, whether they be in a truck, they riding together, you got a husband and wife, you got opinions. And those opinions start to disrupt the success of what the body's supposed to be doing together. Now you got all this tension. How come you made that decision? How come you talk to this person this way? How come you... Brother, ain't none of that. That's why when you see harmony and you see unity at its finest, it's usually when you see people that are on the same page. That's when you see success at its finest. Like a basketball team. Spurs might be boring, but you know what? They pass the ball like nobody else. And they get success like nobody else. That's why they played unselfish basketball like nobody else. There wasn't no one superstar on the team. They all passed the ball. And you know what? Nobody else made the playoff for 20 years straight like the Spurs, as boring as they are. But they were unselfish. Nobody in the history of basketball made the playoffs for 20 years straight and had an above 500, a successful season for 20 years straight. Because they played with chemistry. You saw everybody's talents come together. That's how it's supposed to be with every type of organization and association. It's supposed to be unified. But we got brothers and sisters that still got this young mind and that are clashing in households, that are clashing on the job, that are clashing in business. And it's making for unsuccessful businesses in unity, in harmony. It displaces the success. Because I can't get along with the person next to me because I'm too busy noticing what's different about us. That's what John's disciples are doing. And that's destructive to a body. That's destructive to a household. That's destructive to a camp. You can't have that, man. It's destructive to a family. My style shouldn't clash with another man. The Most High's working through him, great. The Most High's working through me, great. If he hot, then I'm going to pick up what he doing. If I'm hot, then the brother will pick up what I'm doing. But it's for the success of the totality of what we're doing. Read on.
It says, but Yahushua began the work of preaching and baptizing before John laid it down.
He said before John laid it down, meaning Christ started preaching and baptizing before John was put to death and was put in prison. That was a good thing. Read.
That he might be ready to receive John's disciples.
So that when John did die and get beheaded and get sent to prison, those followers that followed John could translate and move right over to who? Christ. Right. So the Most High had a reason why they almost were simultaneously doing the same thing at the same time. Because what it was a transition of power that was about to happen. Now most of the time, that should be a good thing. Matter of fact, yeah, keep reading. Sorry.
It says that he might be ready to receive John's disciples when he should be taken off, and so the wheels might be kept going.
He says so the wheels could keep going. That means so the spirit of the Most High could keep moving. That just because John got beheaded and sent to prison doesn't mean the baptizing should stop. It doesn't mean that the preaching should stop. So what the Most High allowed was for Christ to come in right while John was about to exit. But the young ignorant mind of the disciples were too envious to recognize what the Most High was doing. They couldn't see it. They were too jealous of the fact that Christ got more followers. They're not looking at, man, John is not going to be here long. They're not thinking about that. Read.
It is a comfort.
It said it should be a what?
Comfort.
A comfort that what?
To useful men.
It says it should be a comfort to useful men that what?
When they are going off the stage to see those rising up who are likely to fill up their place.
Can you explain that?
Me or
yeah, you can explain it.
Yeah. The goal is that if one man's transitioning to a different scenario, that the train, the method, the program, the routine does not change, and you don't lose the integrity of what was built previously. Because that's a fear of men that put in a lot of work.
But if I'm gonna do all this work. You put in 20 years of work. You want to just hand it down to somebody that's not going to keep discipline?
You're going to pass the baton to an oppressor, or pass the baton to a person that's going to change all. No different than presidencies. I hate to go political. The country was prospering economically, doing very well, transition to power. all the policies changed, inflation sky high, groceries sky high, gas going up. It was a changing and transition of power.
Jobs was great.
Jobs was great. And guess what?
It was in an economic slowdown.
It was booming. And now we're in a position where
all nations hate us.
All nations hate us. Nobody respects us.
Horrible foreign exchange policy.
Saudi Arabia's done.
Foreign relations.
They're like, we don't gotta listen to you no more. That all changed within about 3 years. It just took 3 years. 3 years of passing the baton to a person that does not have quality policies. It doesn't make sense, but has strong ideas that don't work in the real world. That is a fear for anybody trying to really put in their life, effort, and invest for the integrity and the benefit of the sheep or the people or the body or the corporation or the business or the family.
Or if I worked 50 years as a parent to pay off the house, pay the taxes off, pay the house off, pay all the debts off, and I got to leave it to irresponsible children.
Even worse.
That's a fear.
That's a major fear.
That's a fear.
So the goal is, let's pass this off to faithful men who shall teach others also, like the scripture says.
That's what somebody that understands what Christ was doing should want to see. I should want to look at the next man with a positive light, because he's the one I got to pass the helm to, the reins to, the leadership to. I should want to look at this man. I shouldn't want to be envious of the man that is going to take my place. Why would I do that? Read on.
It says, John continued the work of preaching and baptizing through Christ, though Christ had taken it up. For he was still, according to the measure given to him, advance the interest of God's kingdom. So what's it saying? John continued the work of. He didn't stop, because some people, if they see somebody doing something at a higher capacity, will get the spirit of, well, why should I do it? This person can cook better than me. Why should I cook then? This person can box better than me. Well, why should I box? This person can shoot better than me. Why should I be shooting? This person can teach better than me. So why should I teach? That mindset is a failure mentality. Because another person's prospering, I'm going to quit the gifts the Most High gave me. I'm going to quit and bury my talents because I see someone else more skillful. That's a failure mindset.
It has a name for that mind frame. Where you at right there?
I was right here. It says, John continued the work of preaching and baptizing through Christ. So though Christ had taken it up, for he would still, according to the measure given to him, advance the interest of God's kingdom.
Right. He said that he would still advance the interest of what?
God's kingdom.
Now, I like what he says about this mentality. Read on down right here.
The greater gifts of some do not render.
It says the greater gift. So if somebody else has a greater gift than I possess, right? If somebody has an ability that I don't possess, if somebody has a method that I don't have, if somebody has a skill that I don't have, if somebody has notoriety or achievements that I don't possess, if a person has rank or a following that I don't have, they have a limelight that I don't have. Read on.
The greater gifts of some do not render.
It doesn't mean because this person does something better than me, it doesn't mean that I'm what?
The labors of others that come short of them needless.
It doesn't make me what?
Needless.
It doesn't make me needless, which means what?
And useless.
It doesn't make me useless.
You're not irrelevant.
I'm not irrelevant because somebody can do something better than me. That's my insecurity talking. That's my fear talking. That's my doubt talking. Why would I want to block somebody else's shine because I feel like they have an advantage over me or doing something better than me? Why should that cause me so much insecurity and fear? Why should I be so envious? I thought it was about the furtherance of God's kingdom. Wouldn't you want the train to continue to go on with or without you? Because it's all about the salvation of our nation.
Or is it?
Or is it?
That's the question.
That is the question. Or is it about I only care as long as I getting the shine? Then are you really in it for Christ? So that he receives the glory? Because I thought the scriptures say glory be to who?
The Most High.
Glory be to the Most High forever and ever. I thought the glory is supposed to go to the Most High. So because I don't get the glory that I want out of my work or my labor, then, and I see somebody else getting it, then I feel like I'm not needed here. I'm useless. That's actually not the case. I don't feel like, I don't even know why I'm working. Why the hell do I go to work every day? Because all I can do, I'm wasting time. I'm taking up space.
Exactly.
Who would think that in their mentality? What type of person would think that because somebody else can do something better than me, that I'm useless and I'm needless? Nobody needs me. I'm unnecessary.
Yeah.
So the Most High made me in vain?
Wow.
This is the insecurity speaking.
That's the insecurity.
That's the real demon.
Yep.
That insecurity really is the demon. It's the demon that intensifies the lust. It's the demon that intensifies the insecurity. It's the demon that intensifies the strife and the debate and the advantage and the admiration of other men's advantages and the calculation of blessings to who's blessing, who's more blessings than me.
Or who does what better?
Who does what better? And I don't think it's fair.
Yep.
All those internal conversations that groupings of men have is motivated by the insecurity. But it's not of Christ. Christ, God said, I'm not the author of what?
Confusion.
Satan loves to play off this little spirit right here. This spirit is one of Satan's best platforms to push.
It's plots and tricks that he uses. It's darts that he like to throw.
Off the backboard, nothing but net. Off the insecurity, nothing but strife and division. Good job.
Yep.
Because the scriptures, right? I mean, the point says, it says, the greater gifts of some do not render the labors of others that come short of them needless and useless.
So because somebody does something better than me doesn't make my gifts or my talents useless. Read on.
There is work enough.
It said there's still what?
There is work enough.
Because you don't outshine somebody doesn't mean that your job is unnecessary. There's still plenty of work to go around. So what if the Most High is working with that man at the time? So what? You still got a job to do. There's still plenty of work to do. The Most High is still investing in you gifts that still need to be applied to the furtherance of his kingdom. Doesn't mean but that's what happens if I can't sit in a seat of authority, then I stop building and I stop developing. And I stop growing and I stop teaching. I stop trying because I'm not getting the shine that I want. I stop supporting because I'm not getting the shine that I want. I'm not getting the recognition that I want. So why should I be here? That's an immature mind. That's a young mind. Read.
It says, there is work enough for all hands. They are sullen.
Somebody get the definition of sullen. S-U-L-L-E-N.
This is crazy, bro. This point is crazy.
He said they are sullen. What does it mean to be sullen?
Sullen. Gloomily, angry, and silent.
So they go to work how?
Gloomy.
How do they go to work?
Gloomily.
How do they sit around everybody?
Gloomily.
How do they sit in the truck?
Gloomily.
How they at the mall?
Gloomily.
How they in class?
Gloomily.
How they at the brother's house?
Gloomily.
How they function around everywhere?
Gloomily.
At the restaurant?
Gloomily.
Brother, when brothers are having a good time.
Gloomily. Can anybody smile? Can anybody have a good time? Can anybody eat some chicken? I can just enjoy themselves.
Can nobody just enjoy
There's
themselves?
a demon around, huh?
Why? Why is that? He said because they are sullen. He said because they are what?
Gloomily angry.
Because they're what?
Gloomily angry.
Because they are gloomily angry. Why are people gloomily angry?
Because they're insecure.
Because their insecurity is based upon what?
Their negative outlook.
Their negative outlook is based upon what?
The sense of uselessness.
The what?
Lust and envy.
The envy, but what else?
Their lack of position.
Their lack of position. Because I don't get the position that I want. So if I can't have the position or the notoriety or the shine that I want, then why the hell should I be here?
Why am I here?
Then why am I here? When he's saying that there's plenty of work that still needs to be done.
It's all good when people gotta follow you,
Right.
but it's not all good when you gotta follow people.
Right.
That's a one-way guy.
Yeah. That's one-sided.
Yeah. Yeah. Why aren't you positive, huh? Follow me.
I don't know. I'm just not feeling it.
Con.
Oh, you're not feeling it? What's wrong? Just not happy.
You was feeling 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You was feeling a year ago.
Why are you not happy? I don't know. Well, we do know what it is. Because you're not in charge. That's why you're not happy. Because you don't have the authority. That's why you're not happy. Because you don't have the position that you think you deserve. That's why you're not happy. Because other people are getting the shine that you think belongs to you. That's why you're not happy. But no, people will never say that, though. You got to play the guessing game. Hey, cheer up, brother. You all right, brother?
You want a coffee out?
You sleepy? You tired? What time you going to sleep last night? You get some rest?
I'm just tired. I'm just
You got to
really
play the
tired.
guessing game. What happened to you, brother? She tripping?
Oh man, you know how it is, bro. You know how it is, bro.
I'm just saying she tripping. You know, brothers be, having home life battles. But it don't be that. Man, your kids kept you up all night. What is it, man? Why your heart ain't in it? He ain't gonna never tell you.
You're not gonna get the answer.
You're not gonna get the answer out of this guy. You ain't gonna get the answer out of this sister. You're not gonna get the answer. They're not gonna tell you that what I really want is that position that I feel like I deserve. And I don't have it. So therefore, I'm gonna withdraw myself from participating.
And hold my.
I'm gonna hold my skills and my talents hostage.
Yeah.
Until I get what I want. And I'll start trying once you see me and recognize me and put me where I think I belong. Once you elevate me like where I think I belong, then I'll start trying. Then I'll start participating. So in the meantime, I'll just be here. Complaining. Gloomily angry. Because I'm not where I want to be. You tripping. You tripping. Because a lot of times, people are not going to expose this about themselves. The Most High said, whatever thy hands find so doing, do what? Does it matter if you're in the position of limelight? Does it matter if you're in charge? Does it matter if you got the rank? No. You're supposed to be doing everything with all your might, no matter what you're touching. But now you can't touch it with all your strength because you don't get the pat on the back. Good job. Like a war say, you don't get the attaboy.
Yeah, I don't know attaboy.
You don't get the attaboy. Go get him, attaboy. Go get him. Go get him,
That's
Tiger.
what I was waiting for.
I was waiting on you. Doing a great job.
Not the Lord to say this.
Yeah, you ain't waiting on the Most High to say that. You waiting on people to say it. And if people don't say it, if you don't get the recognition that you're trying very hard, that you're working very hard and nobody notices how hard you're working, nobody knows how hard you're working, I'm just going to stop working. Because nobody said nothing. Nobody noticed how hard I'm working. Nobody noticed I'm trying. So I'm just going to take a back seat and just chill. I'm going to let y'all handle it. Y'all let him do it then. Y'all put him in charge anyway. Let him do it. Y'all picked him over me. Let him do it.
Short-sighted one.
Damn, bro. Is that not an immature mind or what? But you find that mind in the Old Testament. You find that mind in the New Testament. You find that mind now. Read on.
They are sullen that will sit down.
They'll do what?
Sit down.
Go ahead.
And do nothing.
And do what?
And do nothing.
Because they're gloomily what?
Angry and silent.
Gloomily angry and silent.
Come.
Because y'all chose that person over me. Y'all gave him the hot seat. Y'all gave him the lead. Y'all gave him the authority. So I'm going to sit here quiet. But I'm not quiet. My mouth might be quiet. But inside I'm what?
Bro,
I'm loud as hell.
No, I'm angry.
You complaining.
I'm angry on the inside.
Spirit's not the same.
Yeah.
Everybody's in one spirit, and this spirit is completely.
You know why? Because my effort slowed down.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you know I'm angry. Because all you got to do is check my effort. Look at my work ethic. My work ethic will dictate the fact that I'm in disagreement. Because I don't put my heart into what I do. And I'm not going to put my heart into what I do unless I get the recognition I feel like I deserve. So I'm not going to put my heart into it. Then you the clown.
Yeah. It's a carnal reason to go to work for Christ. Huh?
Right. You're going to work for yourself,
Yeah.
for shine. You're not going to work for Christ. I thought it was about the furtherance of the gospel. Read on.
It says, they have sullen, will sit down and do nothing when they see themselves outshone.
When they see themselves what?
Out, like shine, outshone.
So when somebody else outshines me at my work, then I take a back seat and choose to do what? Nothing. I go on cruise control. I go on autopilot. I'm just going to go to work so nobody complains. I'm just going to do my job.
Just enough not to
Just
get in
enough
trouble.
so you see that I'm working. But I'm not putting my spirit into it. I'm not going to this job with all my strength. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to do my job. Do my job. I'm working. See, I'm working.
Amen.
You can't say I'm not working.
Right.
But I'm giving you the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
You're not tricking nobody, man. You're tricking yourself. Everything you're supposed to touch, you're supposed to give all your strength to it. Not just because you got a damn position or authority. You're supposed to give your whole mind to what you're doing. Not because you're not getting the shine you think you deserve. So what if you're not getting the shine? Are you doing it for you or the Most High? Are you doing it to be excelled in front of men, exalted in front of men, or are you actually trying to see the one who's invisible, like the scriptures say? I'm trying to get rewarded from the one who's invisible. The Most High said, "Do thy alms in secret." He said, "For when you do your alms in secret, He will reward thee how? Openly." Because the Most High sees your integrity. You're not going to change because you're not happy. So therefore, you diminish your efforts. Everybody that holds their efforts hostage is a partial unbeliever.
Strong
Because you believe in yourself. You believe as long as you're getting the shine, that's what you care about. You tripping. You're not in it for the glory of the Most High in Christ. Because if you're in it for the glory of the Most High in Christ, no matter what your position is, you give 1,000%. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you get the lead. You get to be in charge.
And Satan loves the spirit of self-glorification. He loves that spirit. Scripture says there's nothing more wicked than a man that envies himself.
Yep.
That's a really wicked person. I'm so envious. I envy myself. Now I'm not like I was when I was 18. I was the best of the best of the best. I was the best of the best. I'm good now, but back then I was even better. I miss those days. Like you're living in the past. Now you got people around you progressing, and you're like, damn, I guess I'm not the guy anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm in their shadow. I'm in the shadow of my high school years. I'm in the shadow around men. I'm missing the shadow. I guess I'm not good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and protest with slow, lethargic labor.
Yep. Half-ass effort. Finish that.
Though we have but one talent.
It says, so what if another brother got 3 talents? Another brother may have 5. Another brother may have 2. Another sister has 2 or 1. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you got, the Most High at least gave you what? 1 talent. You at least got something to offer. If you got 1 talent, go ahead.
We must account for that.
Then you must be accountable for that 1 talent. Then you're still responsible for bringing that 1 talent to the table, regardless if you're in a position of authority or not. Or you're getting the rank or the achievement you think you deserve. Nobody can steal nothing from you. The Most High is fair across the board.
So nobody could be like, I took your talent.
Yeah, you stole my talent, brother. No, he didn't.
I stole your glory.
Nobody can steal your glory, bro. If you got one talent, then be good at that one talent. And the Most High bless you according to that one talent. But it's the problem is when you have a talent and you don't want to give it because you don't agree. Because you don't agree with the order of things. Because you're not happy about who's in charge over you.
You know what's crazy too though? Half the time, if a person, the same person that is upset that another man's doing his position, when they're in that position, they're also complaining about the position.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part about it. You're on the horse and you're complaining about the horse. Now you're not on the horse and you're complaining about who's riding the horse.
Yep.
It's like kids and toys.
Yep.
You didn't like the toy. The toy was cool for 5 minutes. Then you got bored. You want to go do something else. You want your mind somewhere else. And now another kid's playing with that same exact toy, and you just can't take it. But you didn't want the toy in the first place. That's confusion.
You didn't value it in the first place. And this is where we go to 1 Samuel. Go to 1 Samuel chapter 15 and read verse 25. We're almost done. First Samuel chapter 15. Read verse
Page 149.
Start at verse 26.
Page 149, Blue Book.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 26.
Read that.
And Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with thee.
That Samuel told Saul, I'm not going with you. I'm not following you no more. I'm not with you no more. Read on.
For thou hast rejected the word of the Lord.
Because you rejected who?
The word of the Lord.
He said, you rejected the word of the Lord, so I'm not following you. I'm not going to be your personal prophet anymore. You don't have me at your disposal anymore. Because you rejected the word of the Lord. Read on.
And the Lord hath rejected thee.
And because you rejected the word of the Lord, the Most High has rejected thee. Read on.
From being king over Israel.
And you're no longer going to be in that what?
Authority.
You got removed out of that what?
Position.
You got taken out of that position. Because you weren't obedient. So you had to be removed from that position. Because you couldn't follow. Because you feared the words of man more than you feared the words of the Most High. Read on.
Come. And Samuel turned about to go away. He laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle.
So Saul grabbed the skirt and the fringes of his mantle. Read.
And rent it.
And tore his damn skirt off. Tore his garment up. Read on.
And Samuel said unto him, the Lord hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day.
Just like you rent my garment, that's the same way the Most High rent power, authority, rulership, and decision making and judgment over the children of Israel. Same way you rent my garment. The Most High stripped you of that position. The same way. Read.
And hath given it to a neighbor of thine.
He said, and the Most High gave it to a neighbor of yours. Read on.
That is better than thou.
That is what?
Better than thou.
The Most High is going to give the kingdom to somebody that's better than you, meaning that will value the position. That don't honor the esteem of men more than the obedience of the Most High. So why did Saul have to lose his position? He didn't value his position. But what did Saul try to do to David when he realized the Most High was replacing him? He tried to kill him. Out of what? Envy. And that's where the envy comes in at. Because when I'm in that position, I really don't give my whole heart to it. So the Most High strips you of it, now you're jealous. Now you're angry. But you didn't value the position. You didn't care about it. You don't care about it until somebody else got it. Now all of a sudden you care about it. You didn't want to be responsible and put your whole heart into it. You wanted to coast. You barely wanted to show up. You showed up late majority of the time. You never really showed up on time. 9 out of 10 times you show up late. When you're at work, your mind is somewhere else. That's okay until somebody sits in that seat that you once sat in. Now you have an issue. Now you have a problem. Because you didn't value it. So can somebody really steal a blessing from me?
Not really.
No.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, bro. Nobody can take anything from me. But I can lose it. But I can lose a blessing. Because I don't value what the Most High does give me. And I refuse to look at what is important. Last part, let that go. Last
That's
part.
facts, bro.
Last part right here. Which part says it is common.
Uncovered. Gotcha. It is common for men when they find themselves run aground.
When they lose it, they start losing positions. They start losing esteem and losing merit. Read on.
In the heat of disputation, to fall foul.
They start doing what?
To fall foul.
Meaning they start calling foul. It's common for men to start calling foul. Something's not right, man. That shit is wrong. I don't agree with what's going on right now. Go ahead.
Upon those that do them no harm.
Read.
If these disciples of John had not undertaken to dispute about purifying before they understood the doctrine of baptism.
Go ahead.
That's crazy by itself right there.
Yeah.
They
was already argumentative. That's what it's showing you. The young disciples already contentious. Read on.
They might have answered the objection without being put into a passion.
Meaning they wouldn't have went along with their emotions. They wouldn't have saw Christ from an emotional
Wow.
standpoint.
They were put into a passion. Huh?
Right. They looked at Christ the
Crazy.
wrong way because they were already contentious. They were predisposed to being contentious. So that's why they couldn't view what Christ was doing in a pure light.
They were already entertaining that spirit.
They was already entertaining that spirit of
Crazy,
contention.
bro. That's crazy.
They're trying to superimpose that envy on John.
Exactly. But John didn't have it.
Huh.
John wasn't having it, bro. John said, man, I told you I'm not the Christ. Thought I told you already. Y'all must not have been listening. But they was already contentious. That's what happens.
And Moses and them was the same way. That's crazy.
Last part right here.
But why should John's disciples grieve at this?
Go ahead. Why did they have such a problem at Christ's disciples and Christ getting more followers? Read.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Aiming at the monopoly.
It said aiming at the what?
Aiming at the monopoly.
Aiming at the what?
Monopoly.
Go ahead.
Of honor and respect.
He says they're aiming at the monopoly of what?
Of honor and respect.
Because you're stealing all the what?
Honor and respect.
You're taking all the what?
Honor and respect.
When do men have a problem and women have a problem?
When they're aiming at the honor, when they're aiming at the monopoly.
When they feel like you're stealing all the honor and all the glory and all the respect. Now they got a problem with you. You ain't did no harm to them.
Come.
But when they feel like there's no room for them to shine, now they got an ill outlook towards you. Now there's grief. Now there's grief perceived, and malice perceived, because they feel like you're leaving me no room to shine. You taking all the glory. Go ahead.
It says, aiming at the monopoly of honor and respect has been in all ages the bane.
It said it's in all ages. It has been the what?
The bane.
Get the definition of bane. B-A-N-E.
They know that character Bane.
Yeah,
right?
character
For a
Bane
reason.
from Batman.
He's a bad guy.
B-A-N-E. He says.
Yeah.
He said this issue that we're talking about, that men, when they don't have the honor or notoriety or respect or glory that they feel like they should have, he said this spirit has been around for a long time. And it's been problematic for a long time. Get the definition of bane.
Bane, a cause of great distress.
It said it is a cause of great distress.
Or annoyance.
Damn, bro. It's showing you the root of people's problems. When they're in a kept setting. And other people around them start to outshine them.
At the 1828.
What you got?
It says poison of a deadly quality.
Oh my God! It said poison of a deadly quality.
Hence, any fatal cause of mischief, injury, or destruction.
Oh my goodness, man.
It's crazy.
Man, these people become damn vampires, bro. Oh my goodness. Read that definition again.
It says, so I can.
You got it, read.
Poison of a deadly quality. Hence, any fatal cause of mischief, injury, or destruction.
So it's showing you now where the root is coming from. Men's issues, women's issues, comes from when they don't start getting what they feel like they deserve and what they want. And when I can't have what I want, that's when I start being destructive. That was Cain. Cain couldn't get what he wanted. And he became what?
A bane.
He became a bane. He became poisonous and destructive.
Wow.
What you got?
Well, in the noun portion it says, in the Greek it means to kill.
What did Cain do to Abel?
Murder.
Kill. How do you become a murderer?
Hate your brother.
You hate your brother. But why do you hate your brother? Envy. And why do you envy your brother?
Strong lust.
Because he's taking something that you feel like you deserve.
Lack of position.
Lack of position. Glory or notoriety. Showing you the root of it. Read.
That says, of always is the bane of the church.
It kills the church. When you got people that fight to be in high seats, that's a church killer. That's a camp killer. Why do you think all the camps broke up like it did 20, 30 years ago? Bane, brother. Read on.
And the shame of its members and ministers. Also vying of interest.
It's also, it's because people are eyeballing particular interest. They have their own personal interest. I'm in the church, but I have my own personal interest. Read on.
And a jealousy of rivalship.
And it's a what?
A jealousy of rivalship.
And what causes this bane? This poisonous mentality?
Jealousy.
Jealousy and what?
And rivalship.
And what do you call that? That's envy, man. It's showing you the root of all these issues that become household killers, family killers, relationship killers, camp killers, church killers, is envy.
And competition.
And competition.
Hold on, bro.
It ain't healthy competition.
This is a straight demon, huh?
That's a demon, bro. Any questions? With that, we're going to say shalom. Imagine we'll point and walk down, rise and face the east. Yahweh Bashem Shai, Abadawa, Bashemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Lakwithka, Zaba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Rataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathalanawa, Chum, Ho, Yawum, Wasalachanawa, Kawathnawa, Kasalachanawa, Kawathinawa, Wala'ah, Thabianawa, Wasawo, Abo, Haushanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakam, Kamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La'amalumium, Aman.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, walking out, Wabiyah, support, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, walking out, Wabiyah, support, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, walking out, Wabiyah, support, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, walking out, Wabiyah, support.
Rakatay Yahweh, Rakatay Yahushai, Dwadi Yahweh, Dwadi Yahushai, all love, all truth, all mercy, all wisdom, all knowledge, all understanding, all power from Yahweh, all power from Yahweh, all power from Yahweh. Yahushai's name, we pray, the water, Yad, Aman. Mid circle up.
Saluting out the heavenly order. Yahweh, Yahushai, Okay, Sha'ala, men of Israel, and Moshe. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakah.
Kum Yishalom.
Kum Yishalom.
Kum Yishalom.
Kum Yishalom.
Kum Yishalom.
Kum Yishalom.
Matat. Turn face sisters. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Take nobody's shine. Saluting out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, a bunch of Barak.
Yahshua Matah, dismissed. Hold out. Hey, Shalom Israel, the water for watching, the water for coming in on class, and we'll see you again on Friday. The water for those in attendance online and also in class in person. The water.